And we should be live now on the YouTube. Let's see, we got Aaron. What's up, my friend? Aaron 2240. We got Anthony as well. Hola, mi estimado. ¿Cómo estás, bro? Enjoying the new course? Awesome. Yeah. I can't believe it's been just 1 week since then. It's been quite the week, to be honest, but it's awesome. Calamancito, ¿qué pedo, Calamancito? ¿Cómo andan? Hello. Welcome, guys. Now turn the volume a little bit down. There we go. Got the Black Whale 3D Bowl, Hassan. Musta Ave, good evening, guys, good evening. All good, guys, all good. It's been a good week. I'm happy. I'm really happy, to be honest. We got Sarn here on the chat as well. What's up, Sarn? Got my good friend David. A bit of coffee. Gonna need that for today, because it's gonna be a fun day. It's gonna be a fun day, and we got a couple of surprises over here. We got Alan as well. There we go. What's up, Alan? Yeah. It was a weird week because every time we released a course, I'm not sure if you feel the same, David, but every time it's like finishing a race, right? It's like getting to the end goal, and the week after, it's always this sort of like limbo. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe we just released a new course. Okay, that's cool. Okay, let's get everything sorted out and make sure that things are gonna be working fine. So it's always this decompression week sort of thing. So yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a fun week. TBN Prathades says, are you handing out 3D code licenses as the giveaway? Maybe. Would you guys like that? Do you guys want 3D code licenses? Is that what you're here for? Maybe the giveaway is just a virtual hug from Abe, and that's it. Tom97, what's up, my friend? Jugrak says, hello Abe, I have a character and I need bake it in Substance Painter. Should I just bake the body only or full, like gloves, boots? It depends on the project. If the character is never going to be taking the boots and the gloves off, then doing it as a single mesh, as a single bake is perfectly fine. If you're going to have a character that's going to be switching like garments and things like that, then yeah, you probably want to bake them separately. So the body as one piece, the boots as another, the gloves as another one. Calamancito says, I was waiting for Friday, to be honest. Can't wait to learn something new. Today's going to be a fun day, man. Today's going to be a fun one. We're just going to go straight into hand-painted. Are you guys enjoying the courses so far? I know a lot of you got the course. That's great. Thanks for the support there. And hopefully you're enjoying all the content. That has been one of my favorite courses to create. Like, of course, I love every one of my courses. But that one in particular is dear to my heart because I enjoy it very, very much. Ben.la. Hola, mi estimado. ¿Cómo estás, Ben.? Sometimes we all just need a virtual hug. Yeah, definitely. Here says, need to wait for my money to get it, but I'll definitely get a new course. Oh, no, Wolf Girl. You don't have to do that. You've supported the channel so much. Don't worry about that. Let's see. I wish to win one course at least. I don't have any courses from you. Oh, dude. If you won one, Calamancito, which one would it be? Like, which one would you like to start with in case you won one? I can't guarantee that you're gonna win one, but if there's one that you're looking for, which one would you be expecting or wanting? It's hard to be broke. Yeah, I get you, man. But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you a secret, man. You get older, you start making a little bit more money. Like, I'm not rich by any means, but your costs also start getting higher and higher. Being married, having a kid, for instance, in my case, definitely adds a couple of extra costs that I didn't have when I was younger and single. But it's part of life. It's part of life. Mika BB, what's up, my friend? Oh, nice. Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun course back in the day. The other one. Jansify says, just want to say thank you for the 3D code course. It's something I basically always search for, but never found a high quality one for characters specifically until now. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, we actually, funnily enough, when we were planning the course, because I wanted to do a hand painted stuff, we saw there's a lot of like environments and weapons and things like that, but there's very, very little character stuff out there, and some of it's it has a different style. I'm just gonna say that. So I wanted to make my own and hopefully share all of that cool information with you guys. Anthony says, oh, Alan says, I had chilaquiles verdes and I'm here with you guys. Oh, that's awesome, Alan. I haven't had chilaquiles in a while. I'll get some soon. I'm on a strict diet right now, so I can't have as many things as I had before, but chilaquiles sound fine. Anthony says, hey, Ave, I've got a question. What's the difference for you to work with UDIMs and work with the materials mesh textures at least? It really depends on the project, man. It's, from a texturing perspective, in terms of textile density, it's pretty much the exact same thing performance-wise, because you're going to have the exact same amount of like maps. But from a process and workflow perspective, UDIMs makes it a lot easier to arrange a lot of different elements. You guys don't know what chilaquiles are? Dude, that's like... well, it's Mexican culture, right? But it's like the best breakfast or meal you can have. So here it is. Let me show it to you. Chilaquiles. Oh, they're so good. I mean, it's like any famous like dish in any country. Some people might prepare it some way, and some people might prepare it in a different way. Some might taste very, very deliciously, and some of them might not. But here it is. So you start with, what the hell? Where's my? There we go. You start with a bed of fried tortilla. Okay, so you fry the tortilla and it looks like chips, and then you can add sometimes chicken, sometimes beef, sometimes just beans or anything. I personally love, as Alan mentioned, this ones right here, which are the green chilaquiles. Oh, I'm salivating just thinking about them. So fried tortillas, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of sour cream, the salsa. It can be red or green. There's actually a bunch of different types of salsas, and then a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of onion, and that's it. It's a very, I would say, very healthy or relatively healthy breakfast meal here in Mexico. We get this all the time. Some people like to add like an egg or scrambled eggs. It really depends on what you're going for. But if you ever go to a Mexican restaurant, especially at lunchtime or early in the morning, definitely get some chilaquiles. They're a really good one. I came for the art, staying for the food, right? What's up, guys? Hello, welcome to today's stream. Let's see. Let me see some questions right here. We got one from yeah, I'm seeing the chat. I got Marco over here. Hola, he probado 3D Code hace unos días. Tengo que decir que flipping a pintar más. Yeah, exactly, right? Like I actually haven't tried 3D Code render yet, Gonzalo. I normally do my render either in Arnold or Marmoset or things like that. But I'm gonna give it a shot now that you mentioned it. But yeah, like the hand painting feel so much better, so much better. How can I enter the giveaways? Okay, the giveaways are going to be going on the Discord channel, and I'm about to announce what the prizes are going to be. So just one more second. Let's see. I tried to make it my own conscious ones, but they turn out super dense. Yeah, no. Mexican bread can be tricky. I've never tried it myself. So, have you ever made articulated joints for 3D printing? I haven't personally, but I have a friend who's also a 3D printer guy and also a digital sculptor, and he has. You need to get a specific type of resin, Mad Crafter Studios, because the resin that we get normally, like for instance here for the Oni, this type of resin, this is very brittle. If I let this thing fall, which of course I'm not gonna do that, it's just gonna break into a million pieces like porcelain. So you definitely want to get one of those like flexible resins, and that might give you a little bit more of a nicer result. There's the ABS like resins, I think. I've never tried them. I would love to try them actually. Maybe we'll contact some sponsors and then give them a shot, but yeah, the ABS like a resin should work a little bit better for joints. It's not the same as injected plastic, of course, but it should get you a little bit closer. Kimber Asok, what's up, my friend? There we go. Can you write in chat how the food is spelled? Yes, of course. Let me write it for you. Chilaquiles. That's the one right there. Marco Lepicard says, I bought your latest course. Very cool. Hey, thank you for making the amazing course. Yeah, you're welcome, man. And I'm actually very happy because I've been saving this one. Some people have seen it before, but this is a character that I was working last year, and we're gonna be working on this character today. This is another hand painted character that I worked as part of the learning process of the whole thing. And yeah, I want to keep on working on it because now, after doing the other character, the Undead Captain, I feel like I can really make this character shine and pop a little bit more. So that's the fun thing about projects. Anytime you start a project, once you finish the project, you always learn something new. And if you started the project again, you would do it so much better, right? So is that for the new course? No, the new course is out there, Calamancito. The new course is ready. You can check it out on the website. So you go to the website, the new course is ready. It's the hand-painted 3D character for games course, and we do this Undead Captain right here by Labros Panosis. He's an amazing concept artist. You should definitely check his stuff out, and he was very kind to let us use this concept for the course. And this one's already there. But all of the techniques that I show on this one, actually I show new techniques on this one, were used for this one as well. Yeah, she's very pretty. I don't have the name of the artist. It's a Chinese artist, and I found it in one of this like ArtStation posts. This is just personal work, and yeah, it's I really enjoyed working on this one as well. And it's full hand painted as well. Like there's absolutely no like normal map information, no roughness, no nothing. Everything's been hand painted. But there's a couple of things. For instance, the crown right here, I feel like we can improve it a little bit more. The mask definitely looks too muddy. We want to clean this up. So we're gonna be working today on this character right here, showing some of the techniques that we have here instead of 3D code to really push the textures to the next level. I'm really proud of the face though. I'm really proud of the whole sort of like makeup face that I did on this one right here. Let's see, Eric Lequilasonia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you liked the anatomy course. That's another one of my favorite ones. You don't use physics on that course, right? On which one? On the new one? No. Would that be a good idea to have a course where you teach us about UVs in different props or characters? I already have a course. Well, concept from Larry. UVs is one of those things that is very ingrained, I would say, in a lot of the things that we normally do. Like if you're doing modeling, if you're doing any type of texturing, you need to know UVs. So I include UV information in the Substance Painter course, in the Retopology course, of course in the Hand Painted course, in the Blender course, in the Maya course. So pretty much in all of the courses when we're doing modeling and texturing in some shape or form, I include that. But I've been asked to do some UV reviews or a video about it, and we definitely want to do that. Could you show the sculpt of the gear? That's the bad news, David. I had this file on my laptop because I was working it as a personal project, and I lost the high poly. I haven't found it. I've been looking for it everywhere, and I haven't found the high poly of the character. So I know I don't have the sculpt. It's pretty straightforward. I use the clay tubes brush inside of ZBrush, and then use the like stripes, like the tubes brush, to create like each strand of hair. And then with each strand of hair, I just went in and polished it a little bit. So for instance, you can see that. Go to my visibility tool right here. There we go. So for instance, that one right there. Oh, this one right there. That's just like a lock of hair, right? It's this sort of like cylindrical looking shape. And that's the UB right there, or the low poly right there, and that's what I was using to build up all of the different bundles of hair. And the reason why I separated the hair is I was thinking in the future, right? If we rig this character, I wanted to add a specific rig just to that lock of hair so that it could sort of like flow a little bit from left to right. So yeah. Dark Dog, what's up, my friend? Hello. Rodrigo, why 3D code instead of Substance? That's a great question. The main reason is because for hand-painted stuff, the feel, and someone was mentioning this on the chat a couple of minutes ago, the feel of painting instead of 3D code feels way nicer than it does with with Substance Painter. I mean, Substance Painter is like the best software, right, for texturing PBR stuff, and it's amazing. We showcase stuff like that all the time. You probably saw the video this Wednesday. We were talking about the filters, and yeah, I use it all the time. But for 3D painted stuff, I even use Substance Painter, by the way, for hand painted stuff. For some of the basic, we call those the flats layers. So we do a pass first on. Oh, there we go. On another layer. So we do this on the There we go. We do the flats, the basic construction inside of the substance, and then we bring that information here inside of 3D code to keep on painting, because it just feels so much nicer. Like the color sampling, the way the brush like literally slides on the character, it's just so much better. How is important to know how to do haircuts? No, it is very important to know how to do haircuts. That's another one of the topics that I'm going to be talking about soon, because yeah, haircuts are really important. And even though nowadays we can use like actual fibers from like Xgen and things like that, haircuts are not going anywhere. Like we're still going to be using haircuts, I'm pretty sure, like 20 years from now, because they're very optimized. Like it's a very good way to optimize certain elements and get a nice result on your hair. So you need to know pretty much the three things. You need to know how to sculpt hair. You need to know how to paint hair, or sorry, how to do haircuts, and then how to do actual fibers with Xgen or something like that. Would you ever recommend Unreal Engine for hand-painted styles as an engine to run the game? Yeah, you can do that. To paint the hand-painted styles, no, I don't think you can. So yeah, today, my friends, I have a cool surprise for you. A very nice little surprise that I think you guys are gonna enjoy. So, as you guys know, we released this little guy, the new course, a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually, not a couple of weeks, like literally last week we released this. And we reached out to 3D Code. We reached out to them when we were doing the course, because we wanted to collaborate with them. And they were super amazing, because they were like, yeah, let's go. Let's do a course together. We want to be part of that. And they are now going to be sponsoring the amazing giveaway for today. And I can tell you, the giveaway is one of the biggest giveaways in terms of like money that we've had on the channel, because they are giving away 5 full licenses for 3D Code, for the full 3D Code package. So even if you don't want to do hand-painted stuff and you want to do things like just sculpting or painting or modeling, we will be giving away today 5 full licenses for 3D Code. There are 1-year licenses, if I'm not mistaken. I know Noah Game Art, you're asking that, but I'm pretty sure it's a full license. The thing is, after 1 year, you're gonna stop receiving updates, and you can use or you can pay like a small fee to get the updates for another year. But it's supposed to be, as far as I'm aware, and David can confirm this with me, they should be like permanent licenses. So it's a one-time purchase. Yeah, the 3D Code team just rocks. They are amazing, and we're really happy to be collaborating with them. So huge shout out here to the Pillway team with a 3D Code. Now, if you don't win the license today, if you want to get into 3D Code or 3D Textura, which some people were asking about, they do have one practice that I've seen a little bit in the industry, and I'm all for, which is the way I actually got my license, which is this one right here, the rent to own. So if you use the rent to own, for instance, for 3D Code Textura, you pay for 7 payments for 7 months, this like smaller fee, let's say, and at the end you get the perpetual license. So very cool, right? Like I think I wish more more companies would do this, because it's really cool. But yeah, so how are you guys going to participate? We are going to go into the Discord channel. You already know the drill. Make sure to get into the Discord channel. Inside of the Discord channel, you're going to go to the events section. And on the events section, there's going to be a little thing that you can click, a little party popper thingy. And that way you enter the element. So we're going to be giving away 5 licenses today. It's going to be a very nice stream. And as soon as David has everything set up, I'll let you guys know. And we'll get into that part, okay? Let's see. Honestly, only thing holding them back is that documentation outside of painting kind of sucks. Yeah, there's a lot of like hidden tools and hidden elements that really need a little bit more help. I go over a lot of the retopology tools inside of the course, and they're really good. I was mentioning, I think it was yesterday's short. People were getting a little bit intense about that. This week was intense because I uploaded a lot of controversial topics on the shorts, like the war between Blender and Maya, and yesterday my tier list for retopology softwares. And I think 3D Code is one of the top retopology softwares. Like the tools are really good. It gets a little bit, or it takes a little bit of time getting used to some of them, but once you get the general idea, it's a really powerful software. How to participate? I don't understand. Don't worry, Marco. Let me clarify that for you. Let me just open my Discord real quick. See, give me just 1 second. Says amazing. I'm really happy to see all the nice things and support we're getting here. It gives us more energy. Yeah, no, the community. It's thanks to you guys. It's thanks to the community. Like if I was doing this alone, all of these companies would be like, yeah, sorry, dude, like nothing we can do. But thanks to all of your support, thanks to you guys watching the videos, subscribing, of course, to the YouTube channel, supporting the Discord, like all of that information is good for everyone, and it allows us to keep growing and to keep having these giveaways like what we have right now for 3D Code. Any plans for a haircut course? Maybe. Not immediately, Dark Dog, but I do want to do something about haircuts soon. Let's see. I think 3D Code also offers a limited learning version. Yeah. The learning version is completely free. The only thing is you have some limited things. For instance, in painting, you only can have 10 layers. And when you export, you get a watermark. But if you are just there for the learning process, it's really good. 1 second, because Discord is not connecting. 1 second here. Come on, Discord. What's going on with you? Noah Gamer says, this community grew thanks to you and the great quality of your content. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh, there we go. So, you're going to go to our Discord channel, to Leal 3D. And once you're here in Leal 3D, you're going to go here to the Notice board, okay? The Notice board. Oh, wait, I'm not sharing screen. Sorry about that. So you're going to go to the Discord channel, and then you're going to go here to all of the information. And down here where the Notice board is, there's going to be this events right here. And here in this events, David is going to set up a little thing. There we go. It's right there. So right here on this giveaway bot, you click on that little guy right there. You click on that little element, the little party popper thingy. And in 30 minutes, it's just going to pick one of the users that clicked on that thing as the winner of the first 3D Code full license, okay? So the way this is going to work is if you win, I will be contacting you later on the day, and you need to create an account on the site. You need to create the account normally, like if you were going to be buying that stuff. And then after that, you just, what's the word? You just send me, or I'll contact you, and I'll get the email that you used to create your account. We'll send that account to the Pillway team, to the 3D Code team, and they're going to give you access to your full license, okay? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Let's see. I follow your work scene next to it, and I'm happy you decided to follow your own paths and gives you and us more opportunities. Yeah, that's that was one of the reasons why we decided, where I decided, along with David's help, of course, to start this journey on our own, because we wanted to expand a little bit more, we wanted to share other kinds of content, and I just wanted to have fun doing 3D, just enjoy the 3D world. So yeah, let's start doing a little bit of cleanup. So what do I mean by cleanup? Like right now, I like how the mask is looking. It's not bad, but it's also not great, right? It looks a little bit, again, muddy. What do I mean by muddy? What do you guys understand when someone says, oh, the colors look muddy? What do you think about that? Of course, we think about mud, but in terms of technical aspects, what does that mean? Not sharp enough? Yeah, that's an answer. Like it might not be sharp enough. Mainly that the colors, and this is very important, are very close together. Look at the color wheel over here. I know that the chat might make some like stuff. Most of the colors right now, most of the greens that we have right here are very similar to each other. So that makes it look very, yeah, except there's no clear dimensions between the values, the hues, exactly. I love doing this, by the way. We do this quite a bit on the new course. So I create a new layer here. I'm gonna go to fill. And I'm going to do a black layer here on my fill layer. And on the tools, I'm just going to fill the whole layer. Yes. There we go. And then what we can do is we can set this new layer, this black layer, to a saturation. Or sorry. Oh, wait the hell. Get this out of the group. Give me 1 second. Let me delete this group. Right click. And can I delete that group? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add a new layer, and then I'm going to fill that layer with black color. It can actually be any color as long as there's no saturation in it. And then we can change the blending mode to saturation. There we go. And this layer right here, I'm going to call this value check. So anytime I want to see my values, I'm going to use that to check how my values are looking. And you can immediately see that we have a problem here with the mask. And the problem is that all of the values are very close to each other, very similar, right? Like all of them are in this sort of like grayish area, and we don't really have a definition of where the light colors are or the light values are and where the dark values are. So that's one of the first things that we need to adjust. We need to modify it to make sure that this element looks a little bit nicer. And we can start, I always like working with this element in sort of like broad strokes. So I'm going to start with like a black mask right here, a black layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go very aggressive on all of the faces that are sort of like on the underside of the character, like this. I know it looks like I'm destroying everything. Don't worry. Remember, we're doing this in layers, so all of the underlying layers still have all of the information. So this is just a way to fill in a little bit of value right here. For instance, right there, right there. There we go. And once we have a little bit of value, we can set this to something like, for instance, a multiply or overlay. Since it's a black color, it's not really going to do much. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lower the opacity. And by doing that, I can immediately get a little bit more variation on the values, right? Now, if we turn on our value check, you're going to see that the element no longer looks completely like similar. It has a little bit more variation on the colors. And we can do the exact same thing if we add a little bit of bright colors. So for the bright colors, I'm actually going to grab a color here. I'm going to saturate a little bit more. Again, I'm just going to start throwing in a little bit of that value on some of the high points of my element. And this is just going to give me a sort of like very basic blocking of color, so that I get an idea of how I want to start blending all of these elements. Normally, I would do this inside of Substance, for instance, with some like gradients, but we can do it here. There we go. Again, we're doing this on a new layer, so don't worry about all of the detail that we're erasing. Like, we're not going to lose anything. We're not going to be starting over or anything. There we go. So once I do that, I can set this, for instance, I really like linear dodge. Linear dodge really sort of like brighten things, or even color dodge. Color dodge keeps some of the colors there. It's going to look very contrasty right now. It's going to look very, very intense, very sharp. But if we bring this really low, something like 20% or 30%, as you can see, it really gives us a little bit more definition. And take a look at the difference now with the value check. Without this one's right there, muddy. Horrible. Very simple, very obvious. Like there's no definition, there's no specific like anything. We add some shadows, we add some lights, and now we can start seeing sort of like the three-dimensional volume of the element just with the light information that we're adding, right? That's the secret to values. And this is one thing, like even in chapter 1 on the course, I go so strongly on that, like elements like, hey, we need to make sure that our values are clean. If your values are clean, then once we add the color, everything's gonna look very fine. It's gonna look amazing. So make sure you focus on the values, okay? Let's see. I just graduated from CLLG in 3D animation and feel making. They told me industry to use Maya, but when I'm searching jobs, they're asking me for Blender. What should I do? You can use anything, to be honest. Like most studios, if you're just doing modeling, they don't really care. So if you like using Maya and you're comfortable with that, even if the studio uses Blender, you should be able to do it. The only thing is the licensing. So if they don't want to pay for Maya's licensing, that's when it can get a little bit tricky. Here, let's add a new layer. So I would recommend learning both, to be honest. It's a good idea if you can learn both. I know that you were taught Maya in the school, but if you can learn a little bit of Blender, it's not that difficult to translate all of the information. Because the principles of modeling you're already gonna have right there. There we go. Now that we have this sort of like value construction, now we can start thinking about cleaning up some of these elements. And remember, since this is all about values, we always need to ask ourselves, okay, for instance, this face right here, if we want to add a little bit of a bevel to this element right here, we just need a brighter hue. We go to that hue, we make it a little bit brighter. We can even shift the hue a little bit to get just some more juice into this, a little bit more contrast. And if we add that, probably need to make it a bit lighter. That's gonna look like it's like the light is hitting that particular area, okay? But that way, now when seen from afar, that thing's gonna look like it again. It's pushing up. We can do the exact same thing over here, for instance. Add a little bit of a highlight right there. Even on the crack, right? Like this crack, I would expect this border of the crack to give us a little bit of information there. As you can see, we're already running low on pixels. Like this is a very sort of like like small section compared. I'm using 2 maps for this character, one for the main character and one for the main mask. So it's a little bit different, but yeah. Just to know, in the Textura version, can we have the rendering room with RenderMan? No, I don't think we can. I think 3D Textura is literally just like the texturing room. So no, we don't have access to those. This here. Art, give it a little bit more color there. See how the difference in value immediately makes this thing pop a little bit more? That's the secret to hand paint. So look at the difference right there. Right? Just having a lighter value close to a darker value pushes things up and down. That's one of the secrets of this technique, of this particular element. Now, there's a bunch of differences, or there's a bunch of variation in this technique as well. Like League of Legends doesn't look exactly the same like World of Warcraft or Wayfinder. Was it Wayfinder or Starfinder or something like that? So there's different contrasts, there's different like things, like even Arcane, right? Like Arcane looks so freaking good, but it's very, very artistic. Some of them are going to be very low contrast, some of them are going to be a little bit higher contrast, some of them are going to be very sort of like pastel looking. So it really depends on the project that you're working on. Okay, in this particular one, I wanted to go for this sort of like League of Legends style, so that's why I'm going for more like pastel colors, not super dark, not super contrasty, just a little bit here and there. For instance, this plane, I want to push this plane, especially since it's supposed to be like gold or something. I want to make it a little bit shinier right there. You can see how that little plane right there showcases or describes a more shiny surface. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a little bit emotional because I love this thing so much. And I was remembering something that I just I watched a couple of days ago, and it said, the only people you should be worried about making proud in your life, or whose opinion matters on your life, because we're always worried about someone else's opinion, right? And it said there's only two people in the whole world that you should be mindful about what they like think about what you're doing, right? The first one is you when you were 8 years old. Okay? So if you go back to when you were 8 years old and you imagine like little Abe right here, and he was watching this, he was like, oh dude, this is so cool. I can't believe you're now working in video games and doing this amazing things. Like I wanna grow up and see how we get there, right? Like I think that's a very, very cool thing. Like making sure that you're making your younger self proud. And the other person is the older self. So you think about how you're gonna be when you're 80 years old. That guy should look back and be like, oh, Abe, you did some cool stuff back in the day, man. I'm proud of what you were doing back then, because thanks to that, we're now here, right? So those are the only opinions you should care about. And while I was doing this, it's like, oh, look at this. I'm just painting like some fun gold right here, and it's pretty cool, guys. I think that's one of the great things about art, and everyone that's watching right now, you probably feel identified by this, but art brings a lot of what makes us humans from us, right? Like it really makes us enjoy this process quite a bit. It's a very human thing to do. It separates us from a lot of like animals, right? So I hope you guys are learning, because that's one of my main goals with all of these things that we do here on the channel, to make sure that I can share the same joy with you, so that you guys can feel the same joy. You guys can do cool stuff and feel very proud about them. Not because you want to make me proud or because you want to make someone else proud. No. Again, the only person you should be making proud is yourself, okay? That's the secret. That's one of the secrets, I think. Let's see. When I render in 1080 in Arnold, it isn't good clear like pixels, but when others did it, it looked great. I think my PC is scared. You might need to check some filters. Sometimes renders, Boltrick, they might have some filters here and there. So it's important. I'm gonna start using that from now on. It's a good thought. I really think it's a good thought. I know a lot of people think that sometimes I go too wishy-washy and too cliche with some of this like quotes that I share, but I like those quotes. I feel like even though they're not gonna be like the only thing that you're gonna need to grow as a person and to grow as an artist, they're a good way to sort of like keep yourself I don't know what the exact word would be, but they allow you to give a little bit of perspective to your life, right? There we go. So here what I'm doing, guys, is I'm grabbing the values that we already have right here, and I'm just like hardening in a little bit. Like I don't want to have a lot of like different, like, again, soft, muddy values. I want to have like clean, intense lines separating this sort of like effect. So for instance here, I'm thinking that a little bit of a chunk of the metal got ripped apart, and that's why we have this sort of like a gradient, like dark gradient, right? Because the shadows are sort of like projecting a little bit of that information into the element. I do feel it looks a little bit dark now, like everything got a little bit too dark. So I might want to go to this layer right here and just lower this a little bit more. I still want to have the contrast, but I just don't want to have too much contrast. How it shows different values and materials just by simple base colors is insane. Yeah, you want to see a new trick right here, Georgie? This is a really, really, really nice one. So the more contrast there is between an object, like let me create a second here. Coffee? No. Canavidente says, I feel you, man. I just got my first job as a 3D artist. Congratulations. And I'm having that same exact feeling. I was aiming for video games, but ended up modeling collectibles. That's perfectly fine, which is something my 8-year-old self was really happy about. There you go, man. There you go. So, how do you make this a question that I had, and it took me quite a bit of time to, what's the word, to really understand this process. But if you have an element, right? Let's imagine we have a basic sphere. And we want this sphere, that's the most horrible sphere I've ever seen. Let's imagine we have a sphere, right? And we want this sphere to be glossy. What we need to do is we need to have a lot of difference between the highlights and the shadows, okay? So if I just add like a little bit of a nice white point right there, that's gonna start giving me a little bit more of a shiny look to the whole thing. Let me add it. You think about, I don't know why this brush is blending too much. Like the blending brush or something? Oh, I'm using like a wet paint brush. That one. Ah, my God. Yeah, you hopefully get the idea here. If you have a lot of difference between the contrast, objects are going to look a lot shinier. If you have a softer look, or if you start sort of like blending this thing right here, it's going to look more matte, it's going to look more plastic, it's going to look more like leather. So depending on how much difference we have, we're going to have a different like resolution here. So for instance, if I want to make this gold piece a little bit shinier, I need to go to the highlights. I'm going to grab that very bright pink, or pink, very bright yellow, and I'm going to just add a nice little line here on the top. See that? So just one line, and the smaller I make the line, the shinier this is gonna be, the more gold this is gonna look. Just one line right there, right? And that immediately, like just that line, makes this whole thing look shinier. Why? Because the difference between values is a lot closer, right? If I want to fade this, if I want this to make it a little bit of a duller metal, then I need to bring the values down. I cannot stay on this sort of like value level, and I'm gonna have to sort of like blend it a little bit more. Okay, so that's one of the, again, that's why I'm not gonna stop saying this, guys. That's why values are such an important part of the painting process. And by the way, I showed you this last time. Where's my book? This is not something that was discovered like yesterday or like 10 years ago or 20 years ago when 3D was starting. This is something that has been going on for decades, like centuries even. Like artists of old, like people who were doing like traditional stuff, they've been using those same techniques for a long time. Let me go full screen here. I've recommended this book last week. I know some people like to learn with books. This one, amazing book. It's called Color and Light by the Artist Master Series. And if you understand all of this information, you're going to be able to really grasp the idea of how hue, how value, and how all of these elements play a very important role in how we describe all of the scenes that we have. Because a lot of people think, oh, I just want to make this lighter, I'll just add white. I just want to make this darker, or I just add a little bit more black. And that's not the way that it's done. It's one way to do it, but you're going to get a very high contrast or like effect. there's a bunch of other ways to really get to that position, okay? Let's just keep on cleaning this. And this is where we can use one of the rules that we've used in other things before, like in sculpting. Sometimes less is more. We don't need to have like details and elements everywhere around. Sometimes we can simplify some of these planes and some of the shapes into nice little gradients right here. And that's gonna look way, way cleaner than if we have a lot of like this variations. What was the title of the book again? It's called Color and Light, Artist Master Series. This is by Charlie Picard, Jamila Knopf, Guways, and Nathan Folks. It's by the guys at 3D Total Publishing. So really good. And I got this like quite cheap in Amazon. I think I got it for like $40 or something like that. So yeah, really, really good one, that one. How do you feel about publishing an artwork that you did a while ago? I've always felt like I should post it the moment it's done, but I've seen people take months or even years. Yeah, I don't mind. I just clarify on, like for instance, this one. I really want to publish this one on my ArtStation soon, as soon as I finish it. Hopefully I'll finish it on the next couple of weeks. What I do is I try to organize my stuff in chronological order, so it's not going to be right there by the side of the... let me show you. So I actually had it ready to publish, and then I was like... second guessing myself. And I was like, no, maybe I'll have to wait a little bit. So I did this. I did this one that I'm showing before I did this cannon and before I did the fish and everything. So when I publish it, I have it right here. When I publish it, I'll probably publish it right there. Yeah, exactly. Like after the cannon, I'll have her and then the fish and then the other one. That way people know that in terms of chronological order, this is where it was. And someone was asking about the high poly sculpt. Let me see if I have it right here. No, I don't have it. I don't have it. That's the final sort of like presentation that I did for her. But again, I'm just going to update it with new textures. Yeah, the cover for the book, it's this one. Color and Light, Artist Masterclass Series by 3D Total Printing. They have another book. I haven't gotten it yet. Right now, I think we're in Prime Days, so I might get it. 3D Total Books. They have another one that I want to get from the same sort of like series. This one. Oh, I'm going to get it. Yeah, I'm going to definitely get it. Right now, it's like $35. It's called Perspective and Depth. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be covering some information about values as well. So it's that one and this one. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get those two. So it's 3 in the series. It's Perspective and Depth, Composition and Narrative, and then this one, Color and Light. Those are like the 3 main, like on that series or that sort of like format that they're using. Those are the ones that I would recommend. I haven't gotten the other 2. I'm gonna be getting them because yeah, time to sorry, time to invest a little bit on those. But yeah, those are the ones. Let's see. Uteliox, stumbled across the stream by accident. Love your work, Ave. I have been struggling to get into the games industry as 3D artist, and all the fears make me think I should drop it. Any advice? Yes, man. I do have an advice for you. And this is... You might hate me for saying this, but hopefully it will help you more than what you will hate me for it. But every failure makes you stronger, man. Like, I love to fail. In a sense, like I love making mistakes. I love like messing up. I love not making things work or having things that don't look the way I want, because those to me are opportunities to learn how to make them right. If you are always right, then you're not really growing, right? Like you're gonna be sort of like stuck in this element or in this situation. So I do like to make those mistakes. The thing is, and I know it can be quite toll, like it could be a high toll on your mind. The thing is to try to take those elements or those failures and see how to convert them into a success in the quickest way possible, okay? Now, if you're failing and failing and failing and failing and it's constant failure, absolutely no success, we might need to check the process. Like you need to do a really in-depth analysis of what's going on in your thought process or in your actions that are getting you to that failure, because it's also not normal to fail like a lot, right? Right now, the industry, as I've mentioned before, it's on a tricky stage. I don't think it's as bad as it was a couple of years ago. Like a couple of years ago, it was really, 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 really freaking bad. Right now, I don't think we're in that situation anymore. But it's important that you understand that 3D can be used for so many other things. That's one of the things that I constantly tell you guys. Like someone just mentioned, like I wanted to get into games, but I'm now in collectibles. That's awesome. I wanted to do, like, I like doing games as well. I originally wanted to be a cinematic artist, and that never happened. But now I'm doing other stuff. I'm doing VR stuff, AR stuff, game stuff. So every single thing can get you closer to a success. Okay, so you guys want to see a cool trick right here? This is a very common hand painted stuff technique, and this is sculpting with light. Take a look at this. So if we have a surface like this one right here, that's light surface, it's catching the light, and then we have a surface that's dark, right? It's not catching light as much. We can go for a mid value between those surfaces, something like this, maybe a little bit darker. I'm going to change the hue a little bit to give a little bit of variance. And if we increment like that, that's a little bit too much hue. And if we incorporate that in between the elements, it's going to look like we're carving like a cut right there. Like, imagine the stone broke on the whole thing. And take a look at the wireframe. This thing is actually going across like a 90-degree angle there on the wireframe. But it looks like it's cutting right there on the element, right? But that's not all. Once we have this, one part of this, one side of this will be catching a little bit more shadow, and one part of it is going to be catching a little bit more light. So this part right here that's closer to the light will be catching a little bit more shadow, and we can blur that out. There we go. Not too much, right? Like, we don't want to create too much contrast, but just a little bit to really indicate a change in value, like the curvature of that chip. And then this part right here is going to be catching a little bit of light. Again, not the highlight or not the intense, like, super highlight that we might expect, but it's just going to catch a little bit of that information. And by doing that, we sell the idea that there's a chip, right? Like, there's a, like, literally someone got in there and carved out a piece of the whole thing, when in reality, everything is just hand painted. Again, this is like at a 90-degree angle. You can see how the illusion breaks if we go to this like glancing angle right here, but it gives us the illusion of what we want, right? Now, what I want to do right here, similar to what I do in Substance Painter, is I want to break up the silhouette a little bit because I don't want this chip to be super clean. So I'm going to go to some of the borders, and instead of having a smooth border, I'm just going to push it up and down so it looks a little bit more jaggedy. Again, we're working with very few pixels at this point, but it's going to give us a nice result. Now that looks a little bit more jaggedy, right? Like a little bit more intense. Similar to what we would expect rock to look like. There we go. We have the first. Do we have the first giveaway? Is the winner ready? No, right? No, 13 minutes. Okay, so you guys, if you just enter right now, the amazing people at 3D Code and Pillway team, they are giving away today with us in celebration of our new course, of our new hand-painted course. They're giving away 5 licenses for 3D Code, 5 full licenses so that you can follow along the course without any issues, and you can learn all of these amazing techniques. And in order to participate, you need to go into the Discord channel and then go here to the notice board, events, and click on that little party popper thingy. And when you click there, you're gonna be part of the pool that can win the prize. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, Sven. Yeah, you still got like 10 minutes to go and participate in this first one. We're gonna have 5 today, 5 of those giveaways. So you guys have 5 opportunities to win a full license for 3D Code. Again, thanks to our good friends at Pillway team, the 3D Code creators. Oh, no, you're welcome, guys. As I mentioned before, this is all thanks to you. You guys make this happen. Devil10, what's up, my friend? It's a digital painting technique, but in 3D. Cool, exactly. Yeah, and that's one of the things that really, really helped me understand this whole process. Understanding that this has to do more with painting than it has to do with 3D. So if you learn about digital painting, if you learn about, again, values, hues, the saturations, and all of these things, it makes it a lot easier to transfer that information into your 3D elements, into your objects. Pablo58, what's up, my friend? Oh, hello, welcome to the stream. Rested, but what's the difference between texture and just 3D code? When it comes to hand paint, with just texture, you're gonna be just fine. But if you get the full 3D code license, you get access to other parts of the software. And for instance, during the course, we use that for the hand painted part, for the retopology part. And the retopology tools here inside of 3D code are really, really good. So I recommend those quite a bit. A little bit more contrast in some of these areas. And as the light, or as we keep going down, right, in direction, the value should also be, it should also be modified a little bit. So instead of starting with like right here, this right here, is the highest point on my highlight. We're at 94% lightness. But this one right here, which also hits towards light, it will no longer be at 94. It should start sort of like lowering, because remember that in terms of light has this sort of like things like a quadratic decay or something like that, where it starts very bright at the top and it quickly falls off into like darkness. So it's very important to keep that in mind when building our values. Like, values should be losing a little bit of their strength, let's say, as we keep going down in our element here. Inverse square law. There you go, Alan. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. The inverse square law. That's what we're like trying to incorporate here on the light. Courtesy says, I wanted to, yeah, everyone can join, Wujoki. Everyone can join. I wanted to go to think tank a decade ago and was too discouraged with no art experience. Now, thanks to your tutorials, I'm in my second last semester and feeling so proud. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, Kurt. I'm actually a mentor at think tank. I'm not sure if you already knew that. I'm a mentor at think tank. I started last year. I've been mentoring several of the students on the last semester. So if you want me to be your mentor on, I think it's September semester or October, I'll be more than happy to do that. Just stay tuned for when the positions open, and you can pick me as your mentor if you want. Anyone who's going to think tank can do that. Value right here. Wajuki, there you go. You're also here on Twitch. Awesome, man. Welcome, welcome. Okay, now here, for instance, I'm gonna do a little bit of line art. It's perfectly valid to just really push the contact shadows. So for instance, here you can see that there's a specific line where this like section or segment of the mask touches the next segment. We can go a little bit darker there. Like think of this like an ambient occlusion pass. That's something that we can do to really separate the pieces and give the impression that there's more depth, right, than there actually is. Like right now, we're not seeing a lot of like separation here. So I'm going to use that black color. Make sure to turn on my wireframe. You turn on the wireframe by pressing W. And by doing that, you can really see, it's kind of like painting. Like this is why I find this so fun, because it kind of reminds me when we were kids and we were painting, you know, coloring books and things like that. It's very similar. There's a lot of like similarities to that sort of like process. I grab this color right here, and I do want to increase or add a little bit of value close to the nose. Not too much, right? Remember we talked about the inverse square law just a second ago. And then we go here. A little bit of value, especially because when seen from afar, I really want to have a little bit of a focal point on this area of the character. Like I want people to be able to know this part of the mask, right? And you can see how much more different this looks. Like this is how we started a couple of minutes ago. This was what I had before, and as you can see, not great. And adding a little bit of contrast, both lights and shadows, and cleaning up all of this information allows us to get a way nicer result. Let's see. Altruistic Tora Studio says, just found your channel and really glad you are live right now. There you go. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here, and thank you for the support. Make sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel. The next goal, we want to see how long it takes us to get to 100K subs. When I started the channel 2 years ago, it was like, nah, we're never gonna get to 100K. Like that's just impossible. Now I see the numbers like, okay, we might actually be able to get to 100K. So it's all thanks to you. I really wish I had known about Think Tank before going to traditional art school. Yeah, it's been around for a while now. There's a bunch of schools, and that's one of the, I would say, unfortunate situations. Like not every school has the best resources. Some of them are a little bit outdated, and your mileage may vary. But keep in mind that there's people who go to like the big schools. Like I have some peers that went with me to Noman, and they had a horrible experience, or they didn't really utilize the tools that they were given. So it's up to the student. Here in Mexico, we have a quote that says, I'm going to say it in Spanish and then I'm going to translate it. It says, El que es perico, donde quiera es verde. And it translates to something like, if you are like a cockatoo, you know, you will be green or red everywhere. Like it doesn't matter where you are, your colors will always shine through. So I would say the same applies to education. Like I've known people who've gone to really bad schools or schools that didn't have as much support, and they really like got a lot out of them because their learning process and their and their philosophy or their personal way of handling things was really, really good. And I've seen people who go to really prestigious schools, like really, really big schools, really expensive schools, and they don't even learn what they should be learning because they just waste their time. So it really depends on the person. Yayax Changuru, hola mi estimado, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido. Yes, I do speak Spanish, for those of you that are unaware. I'm from Mexico. I live in Mexico. People don't know that, and they think I'm from somewhere else. I'm Mexican. How stressful is it to work in 3D design game studio? Oh, that's a great question, Arindam. I'm going to give you the honest truth. The work, doing the 3D work, is not really that stressful. Like every now and then, yes, you're going to get into a project where you need to do something and the software is crashing or it's not doing exactly what you need and you're struggling. Like that's common, and yes, it's a stressful, but it's normal stress. Like very similar to what you get stressed as when you're a student. It's part of the process, right? But the stressful thing is going to depend on the environment you're in. I've been in some studios or in some projects where the team is a mess and it's very, very, very stressful, and I just want it to be over. And I've been in some projects where the environment is so cool and so chill and so amazing, like everyone's very supportive, and those projects are like the best projects to be in. So it really comes down to the studio. Like the yes, as Devian is saying, that the getting the job is also a stressful part. I'm not gonna deny that. Yeah, the job hunting can be quite stressful, but it has to do a lot with the people in the studio. Like some studios are really chill and some studios are really crappy. So, and again, sometimes it doesn't really has to do with the studio. It's just like compatibility, right? It's like when you're looking for a couple. Like some people might be a great choice for someone, but they're not a great choice for you. So it's perfectly fine to look for the proper place. I remember, like they were explaining, like for instance, there are some studios where there's a lot of like a very chill vibe. Everyone has like their favorite toys on their desk, and there's like Nerf guns going around, and there's like launch parties and things like that. And some people thrive in those environments. They like that sort of like chaotic energy and being part of a studio that just like sort of like plays and works around all day. But some people prefer a very chill studio. You're just in your cubicle with your computer. There's no music playing. Things are very, very calm, and you're just focusing on doing your stuff, right? Again, it really depends on the kind of work environment that you prefer and that you like. For instance, here I want to raise this a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of highlight here, and then sort of like blend it towards the top. See that? So now it gives the impression that there's a little bit of a dip on this like gem or jewel stone right here. That gives a little bit more three-dimensionality to that part. Instead of looking like a flat stone, it's just looking just a little bit more interesting. Nayan says, hello, sir. I just started your ZBrush course, and I'm completely beginner. I completed my first ZBrush assignment, Dragon Head, and I textured it in Substance Painter. Can you please just take a look at it? I cannot take a look at it right now, man, because I'm streaming. It's gonna kill the flow of the stream. But if you want to submit it to the Whips channel on the Discord server and tag me, I'll be happy to take a look at it after the stream. Okay? But congratulations. Yeah, the Dragon Head is a good exercise, right? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun with that one? Oh, we got a lot of questions now. I'm curious about 3D Code. What does 3D Code has and Painter doesn't have, and vice versa? They're both texturing softwares. In that sense, you can get a very similar result with both of them. But 3D Code is just so much better for hand painted stuff. That's where 3D Code sort of like shines, in the fact that you can do what I'm doing right now: quickly sample colors, blend them, and just generate a very nice like finish. In 3D Code, it will take you a little bit longer to really get the colors and the information. I know there are some plugins that you can get some nice gradients and things like that, but it comes down, of course, to a little bit of preference, right? So if you prefer the feel and the finish that you can get here instead of 3D Code, it's going to be a great software for you. 30 seconds. There we go. We are going to have our first winner. So there we go. Then that's it. Let me get... Oh my God. I always Hate this. I hate that I get the the streamer view, but congratulations to Jay something. Just for Word. There you go. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. Congrats, Just for Word, for being the first winner for today's giveaway. As you guys know, we're going to be giving away a 3D Code full license. And yeah, congratulations, my friend. We'll be reaching out to you at the end of the stream, so please be patient. And once we reach out to you, we'll explain the process to getting your full 3D Code license. Thank you, my friend, for the support. Thank you for being part of this community. And we're going to start preparing the next giveaway, okay? So stay tuned, guys. We're going to have 4 more giveaways. We're giving away 5 full 3D Code licenses today. Nothing beats the Substance, in my honest opinion. In terms of PBR texturing, yes, it's the king, right? Like, Substance Painter is the king for like more realistic looking elements, but for hand painted, I think it's the opposite. Like, 3D Code is just like really up there. Paint a little bit of a shadow on these 2 triangles right here. Oh, I'm just gonna clean up. Again, it's mostly cleanup. Right now, on this particular asset, we're on the sort of like final stages of the painting process, where we're worried about making sure that the values and everything fall where they need to fall, and we have a clean distribution of this thing. Grab that dark value right here. And this is the funny thing. This value right here, this dark value right here, it looks very dark because it's close to a lot of light values, right? But if we go to these values right here, they're way darker, and they don't look too different. And that's all because of the illusion of color and these values. Crack right there. There you go. I like that. Can you paint height maps in 3D Code as well? Yes, you can. You can paint height maps. Yeah, you can do traditional PBR texturing instead of 3D Code if you want. No one really stick to only Marmoset for texturing. I do Marmoset for texturing for some assets. Like, there are some assets that Marmoset has a really good one. And even on the Marmoset course, we do the full process. But yeah. Do you use 3D Code for modeling or sculpting also? Not in this course and not normally, because I'm not too familiar with the tools, to be honest. But it does have a full suit for the whole, what's the word, like modeling and sculpting. So technically, it is possible to do a full character and a full asset here inside of 3D Code. If you want to do, again, modeling, sculpting, retopologizing, UVs, even bakes, I think it has some bake information. So it is possible to do absolutely everything. That's the cool thing about Marmoset. 3D Code, sorry. That's the cool thing about 3D Code. 3D Code is a full package software. So it's like a DCC application. It's a lot closer to Maya and to Blender than it is to Substance in that regard, because you can even render in here as well. It has some really cool things. I want to show you a cool thing that I found not too long ago, where you can take your low poly object with your normal map and then use the normal map to bake or to recover all of the high poly information. That's very cool. Haven't tried it completely, but it's something that they added relatively like not too long ago. And I wanna test that out on a video on the channel. So we're probably gonna be doing that. Okay, let's add a little bit more of this sort of like orangey color right here. Yes, the new giveaway is up, guys. Thank you. So if you want to participate to win a full license of 3D Code and use it along with our new course, the new hand-painted course, make sure to jump to the Discord channel and enter the giveaway. Most workflows I've seen use Substance for texturing and Marmoset for baking. Is it because Marmoset may not have as many materials as Substance and cool features? It's more because Marmoset has a little bit of a stronger baking process, especially for really complex assets. You have a lot of control over the cages, and that allows for cleaner bakes overall. But now, Substance Painter added some new auto cage features. I'm going to be showcasing those very soon, and those are really cool. They actually like get very close to what Marmoset is doing. Astrothint, it says, they're just wondering, are you using 3D Code default controls, or I just changed them to the Maya controls. I shared those on the course as well. It's just like the basic Maya control. So if you go here, customize navigation, so it's just the Maya stuff. There's a preset, but sometimes that preset bugs out a little bit. But it's the Maya navigation stuff, because I do that. How much do you pay per month for all of the programs? Oh, that's a good question. Let's make the count. So it's $50 for ZBrush. And then it's like $25 for the Substance package. Maya is a 1 per year payment of like $300, but if you divide that per month, it would be like another $40 per month or something like that. And then I pay like another $30 for the Adobe package, you know, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, all that stuff. If I'm subscribed to Marvelous Designer, like right now I am subscribed to Marvelous Designer, so I'm paying another $35 for that. But that's pretty much it. I think that's all of those are the sub ones. Because what I try to do is, if I can buy a permanent license, I'll just buy it. So for instance, I have my permanent license for 3D Code. I have my permanent license for Marmoset. I have my permanent license for Topogon, for Resum UV, for Gaia, for for a bunch of different softwares out there. So if I can buy the permanent license, I'll just buy the license. Of course, we have Blender, but that one's free. So I would say like $350 for all of the softwares, roughly, per month. Which I know might sound like a lot of money, but one of the cool things about growing up is that all of that stuff can be used for like tax deductions and things like that. So there's ways to offset that cost. But if I had to, like, imagine I go bankrupt. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But if I go bankrupt and I need to really optimize my softwares, I would probably just keep Blender, of course. I would maybe the only one that I would pay for would be Substance, to be honest, in terms of like licenses, because that one's really valuable, and I would just like cancel everything else, even ZBrush. I still have my 2022 version of ZBrush, like permanent license, so I do lose some of the newer tools, but you can still get a lot of stuff done. So yeah, that would be my that would be my way to go. Can you just show us that Substance update you just mentioned, if possible? Oh, not right now, Georgie, but I'm going to be showing it very soon. I'm actually preparing something cool for that. So yeah, I'll share it the next couple of weeks, okay? Houdini has a permanent license that's only like $2K and $1K for an annual upgrade. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never used Houdini. I'm actually scared of learning Houdini. I'm a little bit scared of learning Houdini. I'm intimidated by it, but I know I'm gonna have to learn it eventually because it's a big one, right, on the industry as well. That one's really artist. What's up, my friend? What is your favorite banking software right now? Marmoset, but Substance has always been like my go-to, especially when I'm teaching and in the universities. I just use Substance. Like it's such a fast and easy software, and it doesn't complicate things too much, especially for beginners when you're just learning. Believe me, the bakes that you get from Substance are gonna get you like 95% of the way there. So it's really good. Do studios usually expect you to have subscription, or do they provide them? If you're gonna be working in-house, like you're gonna be either remote or on-site, but you're gonna be part of the team, they need to pay for your licenses. Like it will be very stupid for for you to be working at a studio where they tell you to get your own license. That's not usually how it works. So for instance, if you're working at Disney or at DreamWorks or something like that, even if you're working remotely, they're going to be sending you a computer. Most of the time they say you a big, like powerful computer to your house with all of the softwares already like pre-installed so that you can just work on them. As a freelancer, which I do a lot of freelance work, yes, you're expected to get your own softwares. But that's the thing. As a freelancer, you include the cost of those softwares on the quotes that you give to your clients. Right? Like it's very important, because otherwise you're going to be eating a lot of costs, and you're not really going to be making that much money, because you do need to pay for that. So ideally, again, as a freelancer, you include the cost of the softwares as part of your initial quote. You don't tell the client that, of course. That's not information that you, not because you shouldn't tell them, just because it's not usually needed for them to know how much softwares cost. So you just include the final quote. Like, let's say you want to charge, I don't know, $55 per hour or $40 per hour, $25 per hour, like whatever quote you want to have as a freelancer, you up that another $10, $15, and you use that extra like money to buy your softwares. Because you do not want to, and I was very surprised by this on the last short that we uploaded about like Maya versus Blender. I mentioned that some of the plugins in Blender are not free, and someone was like, "Oh, everything is free if you know where to look, and you can get everything for free, and even Maya can be free." It's like, you do not want to get into piracy, guys. Like, I know when you're a student, it's like, "Oh, I don't have any money, I want to learn." Okay, fine, like you're gonna risk, of course, getting some malware and things on your computer. But once you're doing this professionally, if you start pirating software and you get caught, you're in a world of trouble. Like it's really, it can get really, really bad. And I know there's studios that do it. They don't really care about that, and they pirate this stuff. I don't work with those kind of projects because it's very risky. It's just very, very risky. It's better to include that price in your quote, right, in your invoice. That way you're safe. You're completely safe. Exactly. No sailing the high seas for the pros. I know it depends on the country. And yeah, everything is like a variable. No, I can tell you guys. I used to work in a big studio. Like one of my first jobs was in a very, very big studio. And all of the softwares that they were using were pirated. And they had some big clients back in the day. They still do. It's just risky. It's just risky. Like I wouldn't risk it. I definitely would not risk it, because it's one of those things that if nothing happens, sure, you're fine, and you do get a lot of money, or you save a lot of money because you're not paying for the license. But if you get caught, oh, it can get really, really ugly really, really fast. And some people think, oh, I'm in a different country. Like here, I'm in Mexico. Now nothing's gonna happen to me. I've heard some stories. I've heard some stories of people who are here in Mexico and they've got sued by big corporations. So it can definitely happen. Hey, what happened to the music? Still there? Out. Ah. Why we lost the music. Hopefully we didn't lose connection, no? Spotify's not working. Hell. The Art of Tuan Look Man. So your new course is texturing in 3D code as well. Yes, yes, my friend. Have you guys seen the trailer? Let's play the trailer real quick. Let me play the trailer real quick. What if you could create a stylized 3D character? Fully sculpted, hand-painted, and game-ready, just like the ones in your favorite games. In this course, I'll take you step by step through the full production of this undead pirate captain. Concept is by the amazing Labros Paunousis, who knows exactly what is needed to create an amazing character design. We will be sculpting the high poly in ZBrush. We will retopologize it, prepare the UVs, bake, and then the part that everyone loves. We dive directly into hand painting our character. We will cover color theory, shading techniques, and how to make your textures pop with a lot of personality. By the end, you will have a fully posed, game-ready character, completely optimized with hand-painted textures, ready for your portfolio, your game engine, or your own stylized universe. This is the complete pipeline. Every single step in real time. Now, if this is your first time, don't worry. We have full support available, an amazing Discord community where you can ask questions, ask for feedback, and showcase your progress. So, if you're ready to master the hand-painted style, let's bring this undead captain to life. Enroll now and start painting like a pro. There you go. So that's the new course, my friends. For those of you that didn't see the live stream last week, that's the new course that we have. And yeah, we do the painting in 3D code. We also use a little bit of Substance to bake some of the maps and create some of the information. But yeah, really happy with that one. A lot of people are enrolling and seem to be enjoying it quite a bit. So I'm happy with the response so far. And that's what we have today's stream. Today's a special stream because our good friends at 3D Code, the Pillway team, they're sponsoring this. We reached out to them and we're like, hey, we want to make a course. We're going to be using 3D code. You guys want to be part of it? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. There you go. Let's see. Strange that the studio would use pirate software. They have money. It's greed, man. At the end of the day, it's greed. Want to cut costs and get as much money as possible, which, of course, we all want to do at one point or another. But I would say if you're making money, yeah, you should be considering that in your costs. Okay, I'm gonna show you a cool, interesting technique right here. I like how it's looking. I feel in terms of value check, we are in the right position here with the right side or left side of the mask. But I do feel like the greens are getting a little bit too intense, right? Like it's too much green, and there's not a lot of color variation. We have a little bit of brown that's supposed to be like rust or just like general dirt. But I'm gonna add a new mask or new layer right here, and I'm gonna go with just like some crazy brush like this one right here, and I'm gonna grab like an interesting color like purple. And what I can do is I can just incorporate some purple splotches here and there, like that. And then look for an interesting element, for instance, like an overlay. There we go. And then if we bring the overlay opacity down, we can have a little bit of color variation. Look at that. It's just 9% opacity. But just that 9% opacity can really help us break up a little bit of the color information on the mask and just make it a little bit more interesting so that it's not all green all over the place. We could also just go here to hue, for instance, or just color. And that way it's just the color that we're incorporating. We're not changing values or anything. And we can find, again, an interesting look right there for the little purple color. I'm going to right click. I'm going to use this option that says apply layer blending. There we go. And then right click, and I'm just going to merge down. And that way everything is combined in a single layer. So now there's going to be a little bit of purple in some areas. It's going to be, again, barely noticeable, but just that little break in some of the hues can really add a little bit of complexity to the whole texture. As a course, would your course be, as a beginner, would your course be okay? If you're a complete beginner, Altruistora, like you just started using ZBrush and you just started learning about like the 3D world, I would probably recommend the Oni course first, so that you get really comfortable with the sculpting process, because we don't do, I mean, I show all of the sculpting process, but it's not a ZBrush course. It's more of a character creation course. So it is expected that you have a little bit more of the information ready. It is relatively easy to follow, and the concept is, again, relatively simple in terms of the things that we're going to be doing. You could potentially just jump into the hand painting process and learn about that, but it's a like high beginner, early intermediate level course, I would say. I texture with Yuku Paint in Blender. I've seen that one, and it seems promising. I haven't tried it, Nikis, to be honest, but I've seen it. It's not solely about. I'm currently doing this hand painting course, and it's phenomenal. So much information. Was able to understand color in a way I never saw before. Would recommend this to anyone interested in art in general. Much for if you're in 3D, which most years can't wait to finish work so I can jump back to it. Oh, that's great, man. I'd love to hear that. Thank you for the kind words. I'm really glad that you are liking the course so far, and that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted people to not be afraid of color anymore, because color can be a little bit intimidating. We feel like there's too much information out there about it, and it's difficult to understand. So I wanted to simplify it in a way that makes it a little more approachable. Oh, we're getting a lot of questions. Falling behind. Let's see. Let's go with Nikam. It says, I'm trying to create larger-than-life environments like in Elden Ring with that grand overwhelming feeling. But even after scaling things up like mountains, temples, gates, it still doesn't feel huge or epic. Do you have any tips on how to really make the environment? Yes. Yes and no. For Elden Ring environments, like, load the game. If you have it, load the game and just explore it and understand what really makes it feel larger than life. And one of the things you're gonna see is that it feels very modular, and there's a lot of like tiers to them, right? So for instance, castles, instead of just having the ground plane, they have like 4 or 5 different floors, but it's the exact same models. They just duplicate the models, use the same trim sheets, modify, add some grunge maps. Like it's making them, again, as you say, make them feel bigger than life. It's not because mountains are huge or temples are huge. No, it's the amount of floors, the amount of pillars, the amount of walls, and how that complexity out of simple like pieces makes for a bigger environment. Ignacio says, as a generalist who wants to make an anime portfolio, is it advisable to make a portfolio showing everything, model, texture, rig, animation? No. If you want to be an animator, just show animation. That's a very important rule of thumb, especially if you want to get into a big studio. Big studios usually hire specialists. Usually. Not always, but most of the time. So if you want to be an animator, just do animation. I asked because I have a lot of work I consider high quality. If it's high quality, even if it's not animation, you can include it as a little bit of a bonus point, but your animation should be high quality. Wolfgirl says, after last week's stream, I kind of went on a stylized rampage search on our station, and I saw that some people did use the metal normal roughness. Yes, yes. I was wondering why some people use it on top of the hand painted texture. Is it to give some extra boost? Yes, exactly. It's exactly to do that. And the best example I can show you is I think it's called Wayfinder. Wayfinder? Yeah, this one right here. So Wayfinder, I think it's like a Diablo, right? Like a loot thing right here, but they use all of the maps. So they use metallic maps, they use emissive maps, they use normal maps, and then they add a hand-painted layer on top of it. Remember, the reason why you will be using those maps, the normal map, the metallic maps, the roughness map, is because there's going to be light information on the world, right? So there's going to be like lamps or fireplaces or all of these things, and you want the textures and the model to react to those elements. That would be the reason why you would be using your normal map. In the case of, for instance, League of Legends, right? League of Legends map, you don't have that. Like, there's no light information. You can even see it here on the little like fireplaces. They're not really adding any sort of like light information to the map because everything is hand painted, right? So there's just like a global overcast or like effect for the whole thing. And in these cases, you don't need normal maps. You just need like a basic color map, and that's it, because all of the information is already baked on the characters. Does that make sense? Let's see. Anyone have thoughts on Sculpt GL? Haven't tried that one. Time to integrate that Q&A voiceover. It's a big challenge to... Yeah, we definitely need to do that. Yeah, Marble Rivals is also using a hybrid approach. That's right. How long do you think it will take for me to start working as a 3D character artist to get a job? If I'm still learning, no schools, just me taking courses, how long do you think it will take me? Hypothetically speaking, if you keep a consistent plan and you improve again consistently every single month, my estimate for someone being able to start getting jobs or start doing some commissions and potentially getting into a studio is 2 years. 2 years of like constant learning, intense like sessions of improving your craft, and that should give you a really good level, even if you're self-taught. About new course being beginner friendly, I was wondering, I'm definitely new to 3D sculpting, but I've done 3D modeling for the past 4 years. I feel really comfortable with modeling. Do you have any courses that are beginning friendly for sculpting? Yes, of course. Of course, my friend. So this one, the ZBrush Stylized Character course, or ZBrush for Character Artists. This is a very beginner friendly sculpting course, especially because the first 2 chapters we go through an introduction to ZBrush and the ZBrush tools, and then we make this whole character and everything's sculpted. We do everything inside of ZBrush. We use C-Modeler, we use C-Spheres, we use Dynamesh, we use projection, we use a little bit of everything to get to the final result here for the Oni. This is one of our bestseller courses, I would say, and you can see the reviews right there. Like, people really like the course, because I like to build my courses in a way that they're easy to follow and you feel the progression going forward, right? Like, it's not like we jump into chapter 1 and I'm already throwing you into the super complex elements. No, we go little by little. We build up the skills. We make sure that you understand the principles and the concepts and the reasons why we're doing certain things, and then we jump into the complex stuff. Ruju Lover, that's a sad story, because I was working on an environment course last year and earlier this year and it failed completely. Like, it was just not flowing the way I like to make my courses. You guys have felt this, right? Like, when you're working on a project and it's like you're not feeling it and it's just not working the way you expect it to work. Well, that was happening to me with the environment course, so I had to stop it. I had to cancel it. I've shared some of the stuff on the channel before, but I will be. I do want to do that. I'm still not sure if I want to do a full course or if I just want to share more techniques on the YouTube channel. It's one of those things that I'm really debating, because environments is so complex. That was a problem with the course. Like, I had like 20 hours recorded already on the course, and we were not even on the early stages of it. It's like, this is going to be like a 100-hour course, and who's going to want to watch a 100-hour course? Like, it was just getting a little bit too tricky there. So I need to really go back to the drawing board and plan ahead, like, how I really want to do it. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a trick right here. This is one of my favorite tricks for metals, especially if you want to have like really shiny metals. We already talked about how adding a little bit more contrast can really push some of the values to link to a more intense effects. For instance, if I add a little bit of dark values close to that like very high value, that can make it start looking a little bit more interesting. But here's another like cool trick for metals. If you create a new layer and you go with a soft brush, grab the exact same color that you have on your highlight, maybe change the hue a little bit. For instance, I'm gonna make this a little bit more orangey, and just add a little bit of a bloom on top of it, like that, on the highlights. And then you change this to color dodge. It's gonna shine like really, really, really intensely. But if you start lowering that, you can get to a point where the metal is gonna look really, really shiny, because it's pushing the values and the hues and the colors like quite nicely, and you're gonna be able to get like a nice little like effect right there. So that's a nice little trick for metals. If you wanna sort of like make them glow a little bit, you can just add a little bit of a color dodge. It's a little bit of a cheap way to do it. There's other ways, and this definitely pushes the contrast quite high. So if you don't want to have too much contrast, then this method might not be the best one, but it's a good one. Like for instance here on her crown, right? Like her crown right now is looking a little bit too dull, like stone. So if I want to make this look a little bit more like metal, I can start adding a little bit of that again, glow effect only on the highlights. This is very important. You only want to add this sort of like effect on the high points of the element. It's gonna push the contrast quite high, but it's gonna make it look a lot shinier. See the difference there? It's a nice little technique. This one I learned from an amazing artist. Oh, I can't remember her name right now. She's worked on League of Legends. She's got some cool like tutorials as well, but I don't remember her name right now. And she shows this technique, a little bit of color dodge at the end to push some of the highlights into a nicer level. Creature cores. See, help me out here, Devil, because for the creature cores, I've been recommended to do that as well, but I'm not really sure what would be important for that kind of course. Like what would you be looking for in that type of courses? Like, do you want, because some people were saying, oh, we should do like the full design process. We should do this to the full design process of the beast or of the creature, and then we sculpt it and do it like for cinematics, and I like that. That's a good idea. But some other people say, no, just pick a very cool concept and sculpt. And for that, I feel like the Oni course already fulfills that sort of like niche right now. So, any ideas on what that? No, it's not anyone. No, it was a Russian girl, I think. I'll look her up and I'll share it on the Discord. There. Yeah, a female anatomy. I really want to do it. That one's. I'm not sure if that one's gonna be the next one, or the one after the next one. That one's coming soon as well. I got a couple of projects that I'm working on right now. Not courses, just other projects that I need to finish first, and then I'll get back to doing courses. Another course. Maybe fur. Okay, yeah, fur is interesting. Fur and four-legged rigging for the creature course. Katya, there you go. Gilsis, thank you. Yeah, I think it's Katya Burkinia. Katya. Yes. Yeah, her. She's got some really, really cool tips. And there was one where she was showcasing the gold painting process. Yeah, amazing artist, Katya. Amazing artist. Yeah, everyone knows who she is. She's like one of the queens of hand-painted stuff as well. Yeah, she's a lead character artist. I like to learn how to design a creature, what makes certain designs unique, design and thought process of one of your creatures, anatomy of creatures, how to know. Yeah, I think if we do the creature course, and David was also mentioning that when we were brainstorming, it's definitely gonna have to be design heavy. It's gonna be, of course, sculpting and texturing and rendering and everything, but it's gonna be quite design heavy. Yeah, can you see the difference now on this side of the mask compared to this side, and how the polish stage really helps clean up this whole thing? That's what I was mentioning, that this mask was looking a little bit muddy, right? Like the colors were just like a little bit everywhere. So it's a cleanup process that we're going for. I'm just gonna add a little bit of like chip damage right there on some of the borders. There we go. Yeah, I agree, Sven. Yeah, that's another great resource right there. 2 minutes for the next one, for the next winner, guys. 2 minutes. The next course, the all chat is going to fight against female anatomy and creator anatomy. Yeah, Should we do a female creature, a female creature course instead? That would be interesting. Creature, like most characters, pull heavily from storytelling and environment. Yeah, there's a lot of like biology involved with like creature creation to make sure that they look as nice as possible. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop working on the mask for now because I've shown all of the things that I wanted to show for now. Still not finished, of course, but I'll work on some of the other details. The hair needs to be cleaned up a little bit. The bandages, like this arm bandages, those are the ones that need help process. Jump onto this area of the character and start cleaning up a little bit. So what I mean by cleaning up, well, it should be fairly obvious right now that this is just like a line art. So start smoothing and sort of like blending this thing. Nicer. Did I do something to join the giveaway? Yes, CG Sense. Oh, you're gonna be late for this one, I think. Yeah, because we just got the winner. Congratulations to the second winner here, my friends. Congratulations to Chanu98, my friend. I'm really happy for you because you are the winner of the second giveaway for today, Chanu98, and you're gonna be getting a 3D code license completely for free, thanks to our partners here at the Peelway team and the 3D Code team. So there you go. Don't worry, Macmoon. Don't worry. Who else was it that asked? CG Sense. Just join the Discord channel if you haven't already. And David is going to be setting up this thing in just 1 second. And we're going to go for the third giveaway. We're going to have 5 giveaways today. So we still got a long ways to go for today, okay? So make sure to join the Discord channel. And once you join the Discord channel, you're going to go here to the notice board, to the events tab, and that's where the event's going to be set up in just a couple of minutes, okay? So don't worry. And you still got 3 more chances to win, guys. 3 more chances. For the female anatomy course, you should pick a really good-looking concept, and it will become the most popular course so far. See, that's an interesting take, David, because we've done some surveys and things like that, and even though female characters sell quite a bit in terms of like games, right? In terms of courses, people want to do more male characters, interestingly enough. So we're not sure. Like, of course, the female character that we do should be the traditional sort of like standard of beauty female course. But I'm not sure if it will be a bestseller just because it's a female character. Again, most people, at least on the surveys that we've done, not everyone wants to do a female character. Yeah, I'm actually looking for some concepts as well. It's because males are easier to sculpt. You think so? You think that's the reason? Because I'm not sure if that's one of the reasons, or if it's because as like most of our industry is male focused, I would say. Unfortunately, I would love it if we had more inclusion there. But I'm not sure if it's because as male artists, most male artists want to sculpt male characters as a sort of like projection. And with the freaking my Spotify just have it logged in anywhere. Yeah, I'm gonna have to refresh. Or did I crash? Crash? No, it's the Spotify, right? Hear me? Yeah, we're back. I'm not sure if that was my internet or if it was the stream or Twitch or whatever, but there we go. So for instance here, I think I can add a little bit of highlight to the whole thing. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of a lighter tone on the bandages. Oh, that's too pink. Up a little bit, and I would expect the highlight to be hitting in this direction. And that's why I love the square brush, because it already gives you a little bit of the texture that we're going for. In terms of value check, I don't want to go too high in value, but I do want to have a little bit of light hitting the bandages here. Yeah, right? I think the internet is having a interesting time today. As I mentioned, as we keep going down and down and down towards the hands, that value is going to be lost, right? Like we're not going to have too much of that value on the bandages. A matter of, and just using the exact same elements that we have right here, just blending and cleaning up this process. Question. I just finished school and I don't know if it's safe to go all on 3D courses or go to academy doing communication design to have a safe job for the future because it gives me a degree. And while doing it, take some time courses online. I'm kind of scared about the evolution of AI and I don't know what the right choice is. Oh, you guys asking the tough questions. The thing is, what's your name? Kioria. So the thing is, my friend, there's really no right or wrong answer to that. Some people have good success just doing courses and learning the 3D pipeline. Some people struggle to find a job even after going to really prestigious schools. Some people find a job quickly after graduating, and some people take a couple of years even, like finding a spot on the industry. Every single person's journey is a little bit different, and that's what makes it complicated to give you the best advice. But I can tell you something, and it's similar to what we were talking about before. If you can afford to take the risk and be like, I really want to do games, I really want to get into the industry, I want to learn about these things and be part of these cool projects. If you can afford to risk it, right? Like if you don't have anyone to support and your family is helping you and things like that, it might be worth a shot. It might be worth a shot to go through the design process, enroll to a school or do something like that. I can tell you now that I've been out of school for a long time that you can learn a lot of stuff on your own. Like schools is going to teach you the tools and it's going to teach you some of the elements that you need, but it's more about the connections that you make. It's more about learning the workflows. It's more about meeting people and understanding how things work. If you've already gone through school and learned a little bit of that, then yeah, it might not be as necessary to do it again. You know what I mean? But it can be valuable because again, you can meet some cool people. You can get there or get a nice networking situation. Of course, you're gonna learn skills. But a lot of the tools, and this is something that it was very eye-opening for me when I got out. All of the information, every single bit of information for pretty much every career, it's already out there. And AI is a big thing of that, right? Like you can just go to ChatGPT and ask it, hey, show me the things that I need to know if I want to be a 3D modeler, and it's gonna spit out a bunch of like important like principles and things. Yes, when you have a teacher helping you through those like elements, it can be a little bit faster to learn some of them, right? Because he's gonna save you the time, and that's what courses are for. They save you the time to learn all of those things by yourself, and you learn them through the things that the instructor is sharing with you. That's how we all learn. But if you are very good at being self-reliable, or what's the word, self-taught, and you can learn all of it by yourself, you can get a very nice portfolio. In portfolio review, I've seen a lot of portfolios for people who are completely self-taught and they blew everyone else out of the water. So it is possible. It's not the only way to do it. And I think that's one of the fun things about our career. Like we can get to this in so many different ways. Do you have any idea on how to find people to collaborate on smaller projects just to learn group dynamics? Discord is a really good way to do it. Like we have a really nice Discord community, and I know some people have worked on like projects together, so you might want to try that. Forums, right? Like Cyber Central or things like that could be another way to do it. Here's a cool one. I want to make the hair, because right now the hair looks a little bit flat, especially on backside, right? So if we want to make this a little bit more like a shiny hair, we need to add a little bit more contrast, meaning we need to push this higher, go for some like interesting highlights. And you've seen this in anime like characters, where they have like an interesting like line, and sometimes very sharp lines even. Just the type of like hair situations. And that's a good way to make the hair look a lot shinier. That might be a little bit too much, to be honest. But that's one way to add more information. Yeah, you guys can watch the stream later as well. I recommend you stay here because I have the giveaway going on. Those giveaways are only during the stream. Sometimes when we do special promotions as well, they're only during the stream. But yeah, all the streams are saved for later. Again, sometimes cleaning the shapes is the way to go. Really, really clean shapes, really smooth borders, all that kind of stuff. A good way to showcase the type of result that we want to go for. Still feel like the value is a little bit too high, so I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. This technique, I call it called glazing. You grab a very sort of like simple, almost diluted color or tone and just go over something. That adds a little bit of, like it brings the tone or the value down. Yeah, the H shape. Yeah, that's for hair. Here, the H shape works very nice. Game jam. Yeah, game jams are also a very good way to do it. I haven't actually done a lot of game jams myself, to be honest, but I know some friends of mine who really enjoy doing it. It really depends on your life situation, because right now, for instance, I've mentioned this before, I'm married and I have a kid, so I can't justify being 2 full days away from the family. So that's complicated. And back when I was a student, there weren't a lot of game jams, at least at the school that I went to. I have a lot of them. Yeah, that's sort of like H-shape trick. It's really good for like this sort of anisotropic like a shine or effect for the hair. It works very nicely, I would say. And there's always like a band, right? So all of the gloss is going to happen in this section right here. That's what we're going for. Is it worth the price? What is worth the price? Oh, Alan, I've been seeing your question. I've been missing it. How do I manage the storage? I like to keep everything. I still have it's connected right now, but I still have my hard drive from when I was at school, like 10 years ago. And I do like backups frequently to new hard drives and new places, just because it's good to have that information. I've lost projects, of course, and it sucks. But I think it's important to, if possible, save everything. Usually the advice, if you want to be super safe, is have it locally on your computer, have it on an external hard drive, and have it on the cloud, like 3 different places, so that you always have a nice like backup for that thing. Most LoL artists use this trick only. Which one? The shape for the hair? The H shape? They use it in anime as well. It's a very like easy way to shade hair, to be honest. It gives a nice result, so if it works, why change it, right? And it's all about the read, like how does it read from afar in this case, right? Because if this is going to be like a League of Legends character, we want to be able to read this character nicely from the top in this case, like a 3/4 view. I'm focusing more on those particular areas. Oh no, this program, if you're gonna be doing this kind of stuff, man, hand painted stuff, then yeah. Can't wait to see the before and after. I have a lot of layers. I'm gonna have to merge them so that we can really see the before and after. I think it's looking nice. A bit more shine here. Same principle again, values. So if we already have this like shininess, this stuff right there, by just adding a little bit more of a highlight on that particular area. This T-shape is also a very common one for highlights. You add that little T-shape right there, it's gonna shine a little bit more. It's gonna look a little bit more intense. It's all about the grouping of the values. Yeah, see how that makes the whole thing pop a little bit more? And I'm not gonna add it everywhere. It's just gonna be on where I would expect the little like a glint to be, and just adding those little details right there can really help you push your texture to the next level. The more contrast there is, we've mentioned this before, the more this is gonna help. Look at that, like just those little touches right there, just those little touches, that's all you need. Are you doing color picker every time you change color? Yes, I'm using the V key in my keyboard to sample a color that's close to it, and I'm color picking from here, from my wheel as well. Both of those options. Let's see. If there's an NDA, I assume you can't share anything prior to... Yeah, correct. Like, usually NDAs will block you from sharing stuff. NDAs are important, guys. You don't want to be that guy that breaks an NDA. You can lose a lot of goodwill and reputation. You can lose a lot of contacts as well if you break NDAs. For instance, this one right here, I like the value because it's very far away from the main source, like light source, but we can still grab a little bit of a higher value right there, and just a couple of points, right? So that from afar, that looks a little bit shinier, just a tiny bit shinier, not too much. Definitely need to clean this once a little bit. No, not only do you destroy the artist's honor, man, you destroy your credibility and your reputation. No one's gonna want to hire you anymore, and it's not worth it, really. Like, not really worth to break an NDA, because most projects are gonna be released eventually. So, like, not even if you get paid. Like, I've never heard of a friend of mine or a peer of mine like releasing something just to get like an exclusive or something like that. And I like to follow the famous quote of, don't do something that you wouldn't want anyone to do to you, right? Let's see. When you create a future course for a female character or creature, could you please include a section on Maya rigging? It's often the most challenging part of the process. Seiju, we include that on the latest course, on the undead character. We did that. So where is it? So on this course, we have chapter 8, rig and pose. So we do rigging, single joints, joint orientation, how to mirror the joints, weight painting, bell rigging, cape rigging, controllers, rig adjustment, posing, and the eye rigging. So this pose that you see right here, I explain how I got to that pose step by step. 3D Mireles says, I just purchased your hand-painted course. I'm pretty excited for it. I've been working on my portfolio lately and decided to try hand-painting a new piece to add more value to it. Although I've never tried it before, I'm looking forward to it. Saludos, saludos, Mireles. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I'm really proud about that course. I was talking to about this with a student yesterday on one of my mentorships, and I was explaining that I've been teaching for 10 years now or more. And of course, the first times I was a teacher, I've always done my best, right? Like, you always try to do your best. But looking back 10 years from now, I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Like, the level that I was sharing, even though it was okay for some beginner stuff, it was not great. But you have to do it. You have to start somewhere. And I'm really happy with this last course because I feel like it's a really good milestone for me because I can see how much I've improved, not only as an artist, but also as a teacher. Like, the way I think I'm able to convey that information, I think you guys are going to really appreciate it. Would you say your new course can be helpful to learn painting miniatures traditionally? Yeah, actually, a lot of the stuff that I teach on the course, I've learned also from miniature painting. Like, there's a guy, I strongly recommend you guys check this guy out. His name is Jose Da Vinci on YouTube, and he paints miniatures. This guy right here. And a lot of the techniques that he shows, if you find a way to translate those techniques into digital stuff, they work one-to-one, like literally one-to-one. So glazes, how to paint skin, how to paint armor. Like, if you understand the principles behind what he does, all of this information you can totally translate to hand-painted stuff. So yeah, it's very, very cool. And if you do hand-paint it, like if you paint your own D&D figures, then learning those principles, like the digital principles, will also translate to the physical ones. How can you join the giveaway? Make sure to join the Discord channel. So if you jump into the Discord channel, my friend, here we go. So you jump to my Discord, and then you go here to the notice board, events, and right here on the little party popper thingy, just click on that thing, and you're gonna be part of the giveaway. We have 3 more to go. Is he the creator of DaVinci Resolve? No, no, definitely not. He's not the creator. For instance, here I'm missing the inside of that paper that goes into like a cone. Save on polygons. And paint a little bit of the shadow there. That we really see the depth when seeing from far above. The cool thing about this character is that she has a lot of the similar textures. So it's just like it's like rock, metal, skin, hair, and everything's like jade, right? Like this sort of like jade effect. There was a little bit of leather. I really liked how this leather belt was looking. Can do a little bit of cleanup on that one as well. I love this noisy thing that you see. That's coming from Substance Painter. Again, or like minimize that a little bit. That up. Do you use 3D code for texturing only or other things? I'm new to the channel. Don't worry, man. Welcome to the channel. So in the course, I used this one for texturing, and I used it for the retopology process as well. 3D code has some really like cool retopology tools that you can use. They're very, very nice. More, you could use it for sculpt as well. It has some very strong sculpting tools as well. I don't use it as much because I'm more familiar and more proficient with ZBrush. Same thing for modeling. You can use this for modeling, but I'm more proficient with Maya for modeling. So it really depends on the on what tools you want to learn. But the 3D code is a complete package. Like it's a standalone application. So you can pretty much do anything inside of, or everything inside of here of 3D code. This is the part that when I was doing this character, I was feeling a little bit lazy at the end. It's like, oh, I just want to finish. And I didn't want to do this barrel that she has. This urn. It's like an urn. Some magic coming from this urn. Like, oh man, well, I gotta do it. Part of what makes us artists. We need to make sure that we deliver on every single part of the process. Sometimes we focus only on like the face, right? Like the face is one of the most like fun parts of a character. Important we spend the time to really work on every single part. How do you choose character concepts? Do you buy them or just pick them for art session? If so, do you ask for permission or just credit the artist? You mean for personal work or for the courses, Forteca? Because it's I follow a different process for those. Courses or for personal use, for portfolio, or for some of the demos that I do. Have this at the end of your Google search: Stable Diffusion AI Midjourney, so example stylized wisdom or whatever, and then that prompt. Yeah, Jade. Yes, Alan, that's right. Jade can have a little bit of surface scattering. Yeah, you can also Jansify. You can also do UVs inside of 3D code. Okay, for personal, I have a video. You can check it here on the YouTube channel. It's called How to Pick a Project. And depending on what kind of project I want to do, if it's something that I want to use for learning, or if it's something that I want to do for fun, or if it's something that I want to do to showcase my skills, I follow different principles or different guidelines, I would say, to each specific one of those projects. If it's for a personal stuff, for portfolio, I don't usually ask for permission at the beginning of the stage. But when I'm about to publish, I do message the artist and say, hey, I was inspired by your artwork. I did a 3D piece. This is it. Is it okay if I publish it? And again, more often than not, you're gonna get like, yeah, sure, that looks cool, awesome, yeah, no problem. 2D or concept artists, they really like when you use their concepts because it allows them to see their ideas come to life, right? So I'd say again, more often than not, you're gonna get a positive response. For courses, I sometimes buy the concept art, so I reach out to the artist and says like, hey, I want to do a course, and your concept fits what I want to sort of like do or explain on it. Can I use it? Sometimes they're super kind and they allow us to use them for free. Like Labros here for the Undead Captain, he was super cool. Sometimes they ask for a fee. Sometimes I commission them. So some of my older courses, I've talked to some of my concept artist friends and it's like, hey, I need this specific concept. How much would you charge me for it? And they give me a quote. I pay for it, and then I own the rights to that one. So yeah, most of the artists are super chill. Let's see. Do you think it's best to learn as much as you can about 3D if you want to work in the film industry, or should you focus on one part of the pipeline and become a master of it? For film, I do think specializing is better. Why? Because film projects tend to be really high budget, right? So if you want to work in Disney, if you want to work in DreamWorks, if you want to work for ILM doing Star Wars or things like that, they're not going to be hiring someone that can do a little bit of everything. They're going to hire the best of the best for the specific thing that they're like requiring at that particular point. So it's best if you can showcase that you're really good at one particular thing. If you want to go the indie route, if you're going to be an indie film developer or filmmaker, then at that point, yeah, you could potentially do a little bit of everything. But especially when I've seen on Reddit, I know it's not the best source of information, but there's some people out there that really know their stuff. On the VFX subreddit, they do mention that you want to really specialize, because that's what big studios are looking for, right? Like a big studio is going to look for a really like high specialist. There's a very famous Mexican dude. His name is Contreras, Luis? Is it Luis Contreras or Ruiz Contreras? Something like that. He's on TikTok, and he's an effects artist. So he does a lot of like cloth simulation, hair simulation, and physics simulation. He's worked on a lot of like animated stuff, and then he mentioned something similar. It's like you're gonna be a specialist if you're gonna be working on this kind of like projects. It's probably it's very, very common that you're gonna be doing just one very, very precise thing. Not something like you're not gonna be like modeling and texturing and then doing rigging and animation. Like, no, everyone has their own role in big projects like those. Let's see. What is 3D code? Is it better than Substance? It's a different thing, but the same thing at the. It's a as I mentioned, it's a DCC application. What that means is that you can do pretty much everything on this application, Calypso. So you can do modeling, you can do sculpting, you can do UVs, you can do retopology, you can do texturing. It's fairly well known due to this that I'm doing right now, which is the hand-painted thing, the hand-painted skills and elements that you can incorporate into your work. A lot of like big studios use 3D code because it's very, very easy to follow this process with this particular software. So, but it's a big software. It's not like, because Substance Painter is just a texturing software. You can do other things, right? Like you can do a little bit of rendering, you can do some like procedural stuff, but it's mostly known as a texturing software. In the case of 3D code, it's a complete package. It's like the complete software. That's what I would say the main difference between the softwares. Do you think it's worth it to buy the brushes or images on some sites like ArtStation, Shop, or other sites? For some things, yeah. Like for painting, no. I just literally use the hard brush, the round brush, and the soft brush. That's it. But for ZBrush, for instance, there are some really good brushes out there, like really, really good brushes that I do recommend you get if you can afford them. Like some like wrinkle brushes, some like scale brushes. They're really, really nice. So yeah, it's worth it to build your little library of tools, because it makes some of the elements and some of the processes a lot easier. Good Fortune says, I haven't had any regret getting 3D code. It's king for hand painting and has great retopo and sculpting. Yeah, I haven't tried the sculpting stuff. I need to try it later on because I have used ZBrush for almost 15 years now. So I don't feel as comfortable with just switching. Like I saw yesterday, Blender, or a couple of days ago, Blender 4.5 released, and they had some new improvements, it seems, for sculpting and for modeling and a lot of things, and that's pretty cool. I love that. That's great for everyone in the industry. But I'm not sure if I'm just gonna like make the leap and make the change as simple as that. Yeah, it has voxel sculpting. It's like Dynamesh, so you can go really high on. Which software is good at retopology instead of Maya? Best software for me, Topogon. Like by far. Topogon, top one. And then 3D Code would be my second. Blender, if you use RetopoFlow, which is a plugin, but the RetopoFlow plugin is really good as well. And then, well, Maya and Blender are really close to each other. I was having this discussion yesterday in one of the comments. Yeah, Maya and Blender are really close together. I like I use Maya quite a bit. But yeah, Topogon is like a beast. It's just so good. Yeah, and it's perpetual license. We've had some really good collaborations with them as well. Really, really chill dudes. The Topogon team. Okay, you guys want to see a little bit of a before and after? We're not done yet. We'll still have one more hour to go, if I'm not mistaken, here on the stream. But I feel like we're in a good position right now. Like this can already start looking a little bit interesting. So let's save real quick. And I'm gonna say textures, export, color albedo map, and let's do all textures. Okay. And I'm gonna do the desktop for now. Here, mesh stamp. Create a new folder called Eggshell Textures. Eggshell is the name I gave her. So like a Mayan name or something. Call them new or updated. There we go. So, because the thing is, I already have a Marmoset toolbag file set up with the old textures. Right here. Go. Get rid of the save frame. There we go. So this is it has a couple of what's the word, options here on the saturations and things like that to just make the colors pop a little bit more. We could always go here to just the where is it? Just the albedo. There we go. So this is just the albedo color. So as you can see, we lose a little bit of contrast. But this one's like the full quality. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to know where these maps are. I don't even remember where they are. Okay, doesn't really matter that much because we could just plug in the new maps. Thanks, my friend. Thanks. It's not ready yet. It's not ready. Getting there. This one, that's props. This one, this one. Oh no, that's not it. It's this one right here. There we go. Then the props should be this one then. There we go. Yeah, that's it. So quite a bit of a change, I'd say. Like I like the new effect that we're getting there on the metals. They're definitely shining a bit more. Looks a little bit cleaner. But let me go back. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rename this. Call this old material. And then I'm gonna duplicate this. Called new material. There we go. And on the new materials, we're gonna update this one right here. Go. Now I should be able to drop it. Yeah, there we go. Ah! What happened there? It's very little. It's a very, very subtle change. You can see on the bandages. Right? Can you tell? It's a little bit of polish right there, for instance, on the bandages. The barrel is gonna definitely look a little bit cleaner. So, oh no, that's a different map. Can you check her left leg? Oh yeah, you're right. That one you mean? Left leg? Oh, there's another one right there. Yeah, this is one of the problems with having so many props. There's a little bit of contamination. There you go. We got the winner. Oh my god, I missed that one. Congratulations, my good friend Fonso Dasa. There you go, Fonso. Congratulations, you are the proud winner of the third. That was the third, right? That was the third giveaway for today. And you also are going to win a full 3D code license. So congratulations, my friend. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you make a very good use of it. And now we're going to go for the fourth one. Second to last, or almost the last one right now. So make sure to join. The option is already there on the Discord. So go there and submit your little, or click on the little thingy so that you can potentially win a full license here for 3D code. I'm gonna go for a soft brush right now. Because on skin, I usually would like to go soft. Just do a little bit of cleanup here on all of these spots. So when doing hand-painted style, do you still need normal metallic and roughness maps? No, you don't. You just use, well, in this particular style that I'm doing right now, which is one of the styles that you can do, it's not the only style, You don't. You don't need to. You don't need to have all of the other maps. It's just the color information. So you only have a diffuse map, and that's it. There are some games, we were discussing this earlier, like a Wayfinder, for instance, where you will have a little bit more of that information. But in this particular case, no, we don't. All of this doesn't matter too much because it's going to be hidden by all of the other props. But some of it was noticeable, like that yellow mark that Max Swag pinpointed. Hey, there you go, you got Anacletus. Our old... How do you join the... Yeah, the way to join is you need to join the Discord channel, guys. Once you're inside the Discord channel, you go here to the notice board and you go to the events tab. And there you click on this little thing right here, this red element. Click on that thing, and in 28 minutes, we're going to know who the next winner is for this element, for this collaboration that we're doing right now with 3D Code. This is exactly League of Legends style. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that you like it. I don't think it's there yet. Like, the people who work at League of Legends are super, super, super talented. But that was my idea. Like, I want to get close to that level with this character. So, pushing it. No, and that's the thing. Like, usually with those big companies, one thing that we don't see as much is that there's so many revisions, so much time invested into it. Like, I think they take, or they require like 3 or 4 months to do a full champion or something like that. So there's a lot of work involved that we don't always see. The new Mythic Ari skin is so good, painted very well. Yeah, no, again, the artists there are so talented. For the upcoming course, are you planning to make a Maya rigging and animation tutorial? Not animation. Again, on this last course that we released, the hand-painted one, there is a rigging section. Chapter 8, it's all about rigging. And it's quite technical. Alan here, our editor, he can tell you that because he he was editing everything. And we do cover a lot of information, like very, very important information about rigging. So you're not going to be... I don't think you're going to be disappointed, and it's going to allow you to pose your characters quite nicely. A lot of people are scared about editing or rigging because it can be a little bit tricky, a little bit technical, but it's important to know at least the principles, or at least the basic stuff. And yeah, it's cool because as Alan is saying right there, it really makes it come to life. But I don't know what I'm going to do with the back part of the mask here. Probably need to paint that as well, eventually. Things that take a bit of time. How will you use other maps with the hand-painted albedo? Wonder if there's a texturing breakdown. Yes, it's... I don't have it on the course, but you can keep the normal map, and the normal map is, of course, going to add more detail to the whole character. Actually, I think we can do it. Let me show you real quick. So this is the file for the course. This one's included with all of the project files, so you can check it out, break it down, study it, all that information. There we go. So right now, as you can see, this one looks a little bit weird, right? Like there's some weird shadows going around, and that's because by default, 3D Code is going to try to shade this as if we were in Maya. So it's going to try to 3D shade your object. If we press number 2 on the keyboard, we jump to full flat mode. So this is the flat mode that we're going to be doing this, or we're going to have it, and this is again the final result for the course. But if I go back to normal mode here, to 5 mode, I can bring in the normal map. I should have it right here. So let's import normal map. There we go. So if I bring the normal map, it's no, it's fine. It's just okay. What's gonna happen is on this mode, on the unshaded mode, there you go. So here, see how we see more detail being projected on the character. So that's the normal map right there. Now it no longer matches a lot of the stuff that we painted because we added a lot of information on the paint channel. But you can see how there's like normal map information. So it's gonna look a lot more crunchier. And the important thing is that if we had light with the character, it would react to the light. So if we move the light around, the normal map is gonna change, right? Like that's the main purpose of the normal map, and it's gonna give you a different result. But if we jump to number 2, where there's no shading information, it's just flat colors. The normal map is not doing anything. I can turn this on and off, and you can see that there's absolutely no change in this one. So it really depends on how the project is going to be working, right? Like if you're going to be using normal maps, then sure, you're gonna just use all of it. But I would follow a different process in that case. How can you add metalness roughness on Textura? Same way. Just go here, textures, import, and if you have your maps, you can add those maps right here, and you're gonna see all of the maps available to you. I feel like I'll always want to add the normal map, then it looks way better. You think it looks way better? I think it's a different style. It's more crunchy. It's definitely more crunchy. I'm not sure if I agree that it looks better. It definitely adds a little bit more detail. For instance, here on the beard, you can see that there's more like deep groups right there, so it doesn't look as soft. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would like to add the normal map all the times. It really depends on the game, right? Like some games will benefit from it, some wouldn't. League of Legends, for instance, doesn't use normal maps. It's just like complete flat color. Do you think Maya leads the industry when it comes to modeling and sculpting? Sculpting? No. Definitely no. Maya sucks at sculpting. No. ZBrush leads at sculpting. And modeling, I wouldn't say it anymore, to be honest. Maya is really king because of its animation and rigging like tools. Blender, it's, I would say, like I'm the first one to admit that Blender is way better if you're going to be doing a lot of modeling. Which software is best for all type of texturing with better render? Again, it's a different question. Like I don't like saying this is the best software or this is the best option, because every single project is different and every single software can work for different things. So if you ask me for the most universal texturing software, I would say Substance Painter. But if you tell me, no, I want to do like hand-painted stuff, it's 3D Code. You gotta use 3D Code because it's the best one right here. Can you soften the normal map or take the intensity down? Yeah, of course. So if we go here, turn on the normal map. I think I should be able to change the depth opacity. Yeah, there you go. So if we change the depth opacity of the normal map, that softens it up a little bit right there. So we can have like 20% of the normal map intensity or 38%. Yeah. So yeah, we can definitely change it. Is it important to set the brush opacity above 100 like you did? Thanks. No, it's not above 100. Is it above 100? Oh no, it's just that's just a mistake. No, it's the same. It's 100. It's fine. I want to create animated textures for my sword. Is there any software for that? You mean like I don't know, like lava going or like energy flowing through the sword? That's usually a shader thing, and you're gonna be using a little bit of Photoshop to generate like some of the textures that you're gonna then be tiling or doing. That's more of a VFX thing, and I'm not really proficient with VFX as much. I'm checking out 3D Code page. Do you know the difference between node locked and floating options? Yeah, so node lock means that you install it on your computer and that's it. Like that's the computer that's going to be installed, and you're going to be working on that computer, and you're ready. Floating options is, for instance, let's say we're in the studio and there's 10 people in the studio, but not everyone's going to be using 3D Code at the same time. You're going to have maybe 3 or 4 people using the licenses. So you just buy 4 and install them on all of the computers, and you can always have up to 4 computers running with the license. It's floating. It's going to be floating between the computers. But you can install it on as many computers as you want, but only 4 computers can be using it at the same time. Studios use that quite a bit when working on their projects, because it allows them to buy less licenses as long as not everyone is working on the softwares at the same time. If you're going to have a studio where everyone's going to be using it at the same time, then you usually buy just the same amount of licenses that you're going to be needing. Back to this one right here. Let's see. Could you make a video where you add the other maps with a hand painting style? I can try. I would need to do a new project, because all of the projects that I've done with hand painting stuff has been with like this final approach where everything is hand painted. But yeah, we could do that. Here, let me show you a cool thing that we can do. So I was thinking, this is not in the concept, but I think it might look fine, especially because we have this asymmetry right here. We could add a tattoo on this area, and we can use this same color right here. So let's go to a new layer.
I kind of want to use a round tattoo. So I'm going to start with a hard brush right here. That. And we can go to other eraser. Round brush as well. Go. Hard brush. Thing. There. Brush. Eraser. And since all of this is in a different layer, it gives me access to creating some nice, interesting patterns without having to worry about how it's going to look. Um, yeah. The idea was this character to be, I don't know, some sort of either Polynesian or Mayan or that kind of stuff, right? So old cultures. Jaggedy, not as round. This is where the sign comes into play, right? Like when you really need to start thinking about what kind of shapes and what kind of forms might look interesting and fit with the general vibe of the character. Eraser, fit brush again. Have you tried the edit projection in external editor? Yeah, that one's really good. And if so, what do you think of it? Yeah, it's freaking amazing, man. Like both the projection and the edit all layers in external software, we use that all the time on the course. So really good. Thanks for the follow, guys. I've been forgetting to mention all of the follows. Tertius Shrine, Chico 3DR, Johnny Bicud, Sculpts. Thanks everyone for being part of this. My God, I missed that my day ended 2 hours ago. That's when the fun happens, man. That means you're having fun here on the stream. Can I use low poly characters from course just to practice hand painting? Yes. So if you want to jump straight into the hand painting process, you can start in chapter 5, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it's chapter 5, and that's where we start the element. These are low poly characters. Like you can check the wireframe right here. Look at that. Very, very low poly. I don't remember how many polygons this one has, this female character, but it was really, really low. There you go. So now we got a nice tattoo right there. Like that. Fits. I'm not sure if I want to keep adding more stuff to the tattoo. And what we can do is we can just sample a little bit of these colors. And if we want to give a little bit more, highlight to the tattoo, but right here. A little bit. And the cool thing, this is where studios, art leads, your client, you'll share something like this. It's like, oh, you know what? I don't like that tattoo. Oh, that's fine. We'll just turn that off, right? So everything is, I wouldn't say procedural, but everything is built in such a way that's non-destructive. And that way, you get this right here. Can you use alphas in 3D code? Yes, you can use alphas. I don't think I show how to use alphas because we really don't need alphas on the course, but it is possible to use alphas. Dead Cloud Games says, I've been following some of your YouTube videos to work on hand-painted techniques. I currently use Substance Painter, but I'm definitely interested in 3D code now. Oh yeah, if you want to do like the true 3D code process, this is the way to go, man. This is the way to go. Harsh says, I want to be a 3D faculty. You mean a teacher? As a 3D faculty, what should I need to know and understand? Oh, that's a really good question. So, teaching skills are not the exact same thing as 3D skills. You can be a really good 3D artist and suck at teaching. You can be really good at teaching and not be really good at 3D like art. So it really, there are different types of skills. Communication is very important. And I think the best thing that I can tell you, my friend, and this is of course from experience, is that you need to be able to take a complex subject and break it down and explain it in a simple way so that everyone can understand. If you have the skill to do that, to take a complex element and break it down, find analogies, find ways to explain, and for instance, one thing that I've developed quite a bit throughout the years is find the way to make exercises and make processes that are easy to follow. That is the secret to being a good teacher. Like the fact that you can grab anyone, no matter their skill level, and show them the skill and explain the skill to them in such a way that they really understand and they really get it. That's the secret, I think, to being a good teacher. Patience, of course, is very important. You need to be very patient, especially if you're teaching in person, because you're going to be dealing with students that struggle, and it's perfectly normal. You need to have the patience to help them out and to explain things in multiple different ways until they really get it. You need to be relatively organized, I would say. I'm not the most organized person, to be honest, but you need to be relatively organized. And I think structure, having a structure on the teaching thing is one of the hard things to sort of like develop, like a methodology. That's the right word. Like if you are able to generate or create your own methodology, that's what's going to make you very valuable as a teacher. The fact that you can use that methodology to explain, again, any complex topic, that's the tricky part. And I do believe that, as with many other things in life, teaching is definitely a call. Like not everyone is meant to be a teacher, right? Like it does take a certain type of, again, skill set, personality. But if you feel that that's something that you want to do, that's awesome. And it's a matter, as with everything else, of learning how to improve those skills that you're going to be needing as a teacher. Because everyone here, you guys remember teachers that you had through your life, right? Maybe in elementary school or high school or middle school, and teachers that really created an impact or made an impact in you as a person. And again, that's a skill. You also remember teachers that you had that sucked. They was like, I hated this teacher. He was a very bad teacher. Well, maybe those persons didn't really have the calling, and that's what they ended up doing. But it's part of everything. Didn't have any during school and uni? No, everyone had. P.S. I'm Maria, but I can change back my display name for some reason. Oh. Welcome, Maria. That's weird. I'm Amira Poof now. Nice. You should make the tattoo look like one of the weapons or a symbol of her traits. Yeah. That was just a quick test. I actually don't like it as much, so I might just end up deleting it later. There you go, Elysian Mine. Thanks for the sub, man. Welcome. Oh, the weapon's another thing that I really need to improve. Like, it looks so dull right now, so dull. And again, if we do our value check, look at that. All of the values are the same. Absolutely horrible. So that's another one that I definitely need to fix. Everything else I like the difference in values that we have on the character. I feel like they're looking nice. Maybe we can push a little bit of the contrast, especially on the face. Like, I feel like the face could benefit from a little bit more of a highlight. That's not bad. And I like this sort of like gradient that we have from light to dark. So that one's good. But yeah, the weapon right here, definitely needs more. Definitely needs more work. Let me show you how we can do a quick fix on this blade right here. So I'm gonna add a new fill layer or a new layer. And on this layer, I'm going to go fill, and I'm going to use fill object. I'm going to go here, make my brush smaller. So I'm going to go for a light value. I want the blade to be light, so I'm going to fill that right there. And then I'm going to go for a darker value. I want this thing darker, maybe even darker, to be honest. It's going to be like very dark red. Let me just make sure that I'm filling both sides. Yep. And then these ones are fine. I do want them to be lighter, but not too light. So something like that. What it is doing right now, it's filling the UV islands. And the green, I think it's on a good value, to be honest. So once I have that, I can set this layer to lightness. There we go. And what that will do is it will bring in, or it will change the values of those elements in that particular way. We could also try doing something like a multiply or like a linear dodge, but it might push the values too weirdly. But it should start modifying things just a little bit more. That can work. And also try like an overlay. Oh yeah, there we go. Overlay is working a lot better. There we go. So as you can see, overlay, if it's at 100%, it really gives me a change in values, right? Like now we really are seeing the difference in the elements, and that's now looking like an ice dagger, which I don't particularly like. But if we start like bringing this value or the opacity of that layer a little bit lower, it's gonna give us something that looks a little bit more interesting, right? So instead of having this very bland colors all the way around, now colors look a lot more alive. There's more contrast between the different elements. So yeah, a gradient might work as well. Yeah, let's try a gradient. So let me show you the gradient tool. I'm gonna add a new layer. I'm gonna go here to the fill layer. It's the fill layer, but we're gonna go into gradient mode. There we go. And we got this little two spheres right here. So I'm gonna move one sphere right there and the other sphere right here. Go. And then I'm gonna select this one, pick point 1, and that's gonna be very dark color. And then I'm gonna pick point 2, and that one's gonna be lighter color. Hey. Oh no, I need to change the values here. So there's like a white value. There we go. Let's flip them again. There we go. So we go from dark to white, and I'm just gonna feel. Let's try. Don't remember if I have the object here as a. No, I got so many things. I have to do this manually. Fill with color. Click on everything. As you can see, we're filling this gradient, right? All of the little elements right there. All the UVs, all of the elements, and we're gonna have this very nice gradient going around the element. It's gonna make it very contrasty though. That's the only thing that I'm not looking forward to. It's not the end of the world, but just keep in mind that it's gonna make it quite contrasty. And once we're happy with that, we can set this to multiply. Multiply is usually the best one to do it. It's just gonna darken everything. And again, we play a little bit with opacity. And that's also gonna help us with a nice little change there on the values of the element. Right? Can you draw on model and in UV space in code like in Substance? Yes. So here, texture editor. So there's the texture editor right there. So if you wanna paint on a specific part of the character, you can do it right here. As long as you have your clean UV map, you can go to any point of your UV map and paint that. So yeah, it is possible. It's called the texture editor. Your editor. Oh. Second here, because I'm messing up my layers. There we go. Let's see. Wow, 3D Code really is an amazing software. Yeah, no, it is. It's really good, and it's quite easy to use. To be honest, like it's not too complicated. I don't think it's too complicated, to be honest. Especially if you've already used things like 3D Code and what's the word? Blender. Sorry, if you've used Blender and Maya, you're gonna feel very, very at home. Very, very at home. So here what I'm doing is I'm cleaning a lot of the mess that I've made before. I like some of the gradients, but they're not great. Going to be using a little bit of lighter value here. Really incorporate that detail right here. There you go. See how that looks a lot smoother? And remember, in order to have a good contrast, for instance, if we really want to make this thing look like it's sharp, a nice highlight, yes, we can add the highlight. It should not be everywhere. Only be on a couple of areas. And the more difference in value we have between those areas, nicer that sharpness can look. Let's see. Yeah, you can sculpt, UV, retopo, texture, bakes. It's a complete package. It's a complete package. Is it possible to upgrade from 3D code to Extrude to 3D code? Yes, it is. It is possible to do that. You can do it, and it's gonna charge you a specific price. I don't remember how much it is, but yeah, if you are just using 3D Textura and then you want to use 3D code, you can do it. You can upgrade. I actually did it that way. Like I started with 3D Textura because that was the only one that I was using, and then I upgraded to the full version, to 3D Code. Do you sculpt in 3D Code or ZBrush? ZBrush. I sculpt in ZBrush. Yes, Alfonso, it is possible to change the navigation so that you're using industry standard stuff. So for instance, right now, if I press Alt and right click, I do this, and then Alt and middle click, I do the zoom, and then Alt and just tap, I do the rotation. So similar to Maya. But you can change this if you feel more comfortable using like the, let's say, the Blender way. You can also change it to the Blender. A little bit more. It's funny because I last time I worked in this character was like November last year. And now that I'm coming back to it, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe I did this back then. I can make it so much better now. And that's the fun thing about learning. The more you do something, the more you learn. How that band right there, just that little band right there, it already makes the whole thing look more metallic. Exactly, Alan. Always learning, always improving. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes for the next winner. 2 minutes for the next winner of today's giveaway. Thanks to our good friends at 3D Code, who are super, super kind, and they allowed us to share with you guys a full license to 3D Code. I wish I had these opportunities back when I was a student. Twitch wasn't a thing back then. It was just starting, I think. It's just starting. YouTube was a thing, but giveaways were not very common. I know I asked too many questions, but is it worth to sell things in CG Trader or websites like that? Yeah. I've never done it. I know some people who have and have had a good success with it. So yeah, just make sure, as with everything, it's all about offer and demand, right? So if you do something that's very, very niche, very specialized, then you're probably not going to get as many sales. But if you find or build something that's very common and you offer a fair price and the model is good, you can make a little bit of money there. I know some people do that. Now with AI, it's getting a little bit trickier because especially simple assets, you know, like barrels and boxes and things like that. There are some AI models that can do a relative good job. It's not perfect. I wouldn't use them on my projects, but they can do something, and for some people that might be more than enough. So you're going to be competing a little bit against that market in particular. But as I've always mentioned, if you do good quality stuff, you're going to be fine. And the winner, 11 seconds, 10. I didn't miss it this time. We got a 6, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the winner is, I'm not going to be able to say, or can I see the name now? Yeah, there we go. Bakamon. Congratulations to my friend Bakamon here, who is the 4th lucky winner of today's giveaway. Congratulations, Bakamon. I hope you enjoy 3D Code as much as I'm enjoying it right now, because it's such an amazing software. It's such a fun software. GG to Bakamon. And we're going to go to the last one, my friends. Last one before we finish today's stream. Last giveaway. David is going to be setting it up in just a second. And that's going to be the last giveaway for today. Again, thanks to our good friends at Peelway team, the 3D Code team. super kind to give us 5 licenses to give away in celebration of our newest course, the 3D hand-painted character. Let me show you the trailer real quick, guys, while I go and grab a glass of water. 1 second. And for those of you that are a little bit out of the loop, this is the new course.
What if you could create a stylized 3D character? Fully sculpted, hand-painted, and game-ready, just like the ones in your favorite games. In this course, I'll take you step by step through the full production of this undead pirate captain. Concept is by the amazing Labros Paunousis, who knows exactly what is needed to create an amazing character design. We will be sculpting the high poly in ZBrush. We will retopologize it, prepare the UVs, bake, and then the part that everyone loves. We dive directly into hand painting our character. We will cover color theory, shading techniques, and how to make your textures pop with a lot of personality. By the end, you will have a fully posed, game-ready character, completely optimized with hand-painted textures, ready for your portfolio, your game engine, or your own stylized universe. This is the complete pipeline. Every single step in real time. Now, if this is your first time, don't worry. We have full support available, an amazing Discord community where you can ask questions, ask for feedback, and showcase your progress. So, if you're ready to master the hand-painted style, let's bring this undead captain to life. Enroll now and start painting like a pro.
There we go. So we're now launching the 5th giveaway. It should be up on the Discord channel. Let's go, my friends. Last chance for you guys to get a free license here for 3D Code so that you can start learning about the hand-painted process, the retopology tools that it has, some of the modeling and sculpting elements. Again, amazing software. It's a complete package. You can pretty much do everything 3D related in that one. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Oh, I missed the nails. I painted her nails red, similar to some of the tones that she has. I'm not sure I want to add I added on this one just to try something, but it's some few little pixels that I don't think it really makes a difference. And we need to paint her toenails now. Now for this one, I am going to turn on symmetry. We do have symmetry available here inside of 3D Code. This should save me a little bit of time. The details, as the quote says, the devil's on the details, right? These details that really can make or break a character. The hand painting course might be the best one so far, to be honest. Came out just at the right time. Thank you, my friend. I mean, every course I do, I like to think that they're really good, and we've had a lot of like good reviews, and people really enjoy them. What the hell? Why did that not work? That's really weird. I'm not sure why that didn't work. Anyway, it should have worked, but whatever reason, it didn't. Let's just do it manually then. But yeah, I really enjoy the new course as well, my friend. I had a great time like doing it, like recording it. The project was really cool. The character was really nice. And I really like all of the information. Just to follow the live streams at 6 p.m. my time because I'm usually in Italy, but it's been a month in Canada, so don't forget it's at 12 o'clock. Oh, my friend. Don't worry. Yeah, the live stream is going to be on YouTube for you to follow along. Don't worry about that. Do you think that you should update your 3D softwares every year or wait until something big? As a freelancer, I do update my stuff as the updates roll. So every time there's a new update, I just update, and that's fine. But when I'm working on a project, like if, let's say, for instance, for some of the museum stuff, right? Let's say we started working on Unreal Engine 5.4. We'll stick to 5.4 until we finish that project. Why? Because if something breaks on the transition to one of the new ones, it's just going to be a pain to try to fix it. So I try to stick to the current version or to the version of the project. And that's usually how game studios do it as well. They'll pick whatever version of the engine they're working on, and they'll stick to that one until the game ships, pretty much. because a lot of things, or some very small things, can break along the way, and then it's a pain to try to troubleshoot. So you usually grab one version of the software, of the program. For instance, Maya, you start with, like, so let's say, oh, we're going to be animating everything in Maya 2023, and that's it. You stick to Maya 2023 for the duration of that project. And then if by the next project you feel that you could benefit from some of the new things that Maya is incorporating, you can try to update to the next one. But I know a lot of studios that are still working on Maya 2018, for instance, because it was a very stable version back then. So it really depends on the project. That detail right there, sure I like it as much. A little bit more obvious. All the textures, all the textures are only painted. No, there's no normal map in this one. This one's all hand painted, man. All hand painted. I'll show you I'll show you guys the result after. All right, just a second. Let's give it a quick check here. So I'm gonna right click. Where is it? Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. There we go. Let me bring this all the way to the top. There we go. So this is how we started today on the mask and everything. Actually, this is just the character. The mask is on another layer. I'm gonna need to duplicate that one as well. But you can see it doesn't, or it might not look like we're doing much, but it's just those small details and small changes that can really polish something up. And this is I've mentioned this before, and I do mention this on the course as well. This is the most time-consuming part of the whole process. Like, to get to this point, it's like 90% of the way there, but the last 10% can take as much time as the initial 90%, just because of how many little things and elements you might need to be tweaking and changing to get to the result that you want. Pero says, hi, I learned a lot from you. I applied your tips on my current project now at my work, and it helps me a lot. I also successfully passed my training for sculpting some animals. Thank you, man. You are welcome, Pero. You're welcome. I'm glad the stuff that we share here on the channel is helpful to you. Can you show, please, how you set up pen pressure? Because when I was watching your racing partner course, I couldn't set it up. It seems I don't have any pressure. Thanks. I mean, you need to have your driver up to date. So I'm using the Canvas 16 Gen 3, and I really don't have any adjustments here. So it's working. It just works. I do change preferences. No, edit preferences. 3D mouse brushing. Here, I think I do move my brush sensitivity a little bit because I do have a heavy hand, and I want to paint a little bit softer with the whole thing. So I do change the brush sensitivity a little bit. But other than that, I don't change much things, Bocabilo. How many years have you been in the 3D industry? Because I've been doing 3D for a year or so, and this looks unachievable. No, I've been here for a long time. I started my 3D journey in 2011, man. 2011 was the first time I started learning about 3D in general. I took a couple of courses. I went to a small school here in Mexico, and then I worked for a little bit, and then I went to Noman for 3 years, and then I came back and I started my own stuff. So yeah, it's been a while, and it's not unachievable. I could tell you, like, you don't need 15 years like I've been doing to get to this point, but it's not gonna happen in 2 months, right? Like, if you put yourself to work and you start working on learning the skills and everything, I can, like, realistically say that you can get to a very nice point in 2 years. But it's gonna take, of course, time and dedication, right? Like with everything in life. So yeah, it's totally doable. You don't need like a stupid amounts of time. It can be done relatively quickly, but again, it requires dedication, as with everything in life. Hey, watching and hearing you make things is extremely soothing. Just saying. Thanks, man. I'm not sure if it's my personality or my voice, but I appreciate the fact that you find it soothing. How do you feel about the Substance Painter hand paint add-on? I've seen it before. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's the Simple Diffuse. It's called Simple Diffuse. It's good to get the base done. I show you how to do that without the add-on on the course, because it uses very similar generators to what I show, and it's good. It's a good add-on, to be honest. But you still need to hand paint. Like, you still need to, for instance, bring it here into 3D Code and clean up the stuff, because you're gonna get very sort of like soft generic lights. I did a similar video a couple of years ago. You guys probably remember that one. It's the orc. It's called hand paint style in Substance Painter or something like that, and that one showcases a similar process where we use generators and filters and things like that to get a nice hand painted look, a soft look to it, and then you paint on top of it. You paint on top of it. Berber Cero says, "Hi, I learned a lot from you. I applied your tips on my current." Oh yeah. I read your message on the on YouTube, and I'm really grateful that I'm really happy that that the stuff that I share on the channel is helping you. That's the point. That's the point. We're all in this together. We all love to create. We all love this industry. We all love to do amazing things, inspire others. So hopefully, all of the things that I share here on the channel inspire you as well, my friends. 20 more minutes. The last, it's the final countdown. I'm very happy because I pre-ordered the Donkey Kong Bonanza game. It should be arriving today. I haven't been hyped by those kind of games in a long time, and that one really hyped me up. So I'm looking forward to playing it a little bit today. My kid is also looking forward to it because she likes to play video games now. Let's see. Wilber Contreras says, "What do you use the bakes for in the course?" Sorry if this was asked before. No, don't worry, man. I use the bakes to generate a basic color value construction of the character, and then we transfer those color values into 3D code, and we use those as a starting point to start building up all of the rest of the elements. I don't have, because I mentioned I lost the. Actually, I might have the. Do I have the original bakes? Let me see if I have the original bakes for this one, because you're going to be able to see like how much of a difference hand painting can make. Let me see if I have it here. Color albedo map. Okay. I don't remember if I have the actual bakes. I don't think so. No, I don't think I have them anymore. But I can show you, because I do have the image on my ArtStation. Give me 1 second. Manage portfolio. Right here. Download this image. There we go. So these are the gradients and the bakes that I did inside of Substance Painter. So as you can see, they give me a basic construction of the general tones and things that I want for the character, and then we do the full sort of like hand painted process. This is the process that that I learned and that I teach on the course. It's a very common process. Some people use a black and white like process as well. It's really good, but yeah. So Isabela Cherkik, te sigo hace un montón. Me estoy enterando ahora que sos de LATAM, grande. Sí, de México. Saludos. Saludos, Isabela. Rice, if you rewind 2.5 hours back, you will find he didn't do much. What do you mean I didn't do much, man? What do you mean I didn't do much? We've been polishing this quite heavily. Quite heavily. And I know it might not seem like much, but it's quite a bit of work. Quite a bit of work and cleanup process here. Let's see. Joining the studios these days seems to be hard. Do you think the future will be easier for us? I think the future is going to have a little bit of a shift. And I've been mentioning this before. I forgot to turn on the music. Sorry about that. So I've been mentioning this before in terms of the studio work. I think the model, the business model of the very big studios is not going to be as common anymore. And we're going to start seeing smaller projects, more artistically oriented projects, which I think it's a good thing, to be honest. And this sort of like humongous AAA games where they spend like millions of dollars, like hundreds of millions of dollars, I think they're not going to be as common anymore. They're going to be common, but we're going to see them more as more like films, like 1 or 2 every couple of months, rather than having as many as we had in the past couple of years, and then some of them flopping really badly. And that's because as a business model, companies are realizing that just throwing money away into like big productions and hiring a bunch of people is not a guarantee to success anymore. It's not going to be it's not going to be something that's just going to guarantee that you're going to be making your return of investment as easy as possible. Yeah, indie-like projects and smaller scope projects. So let me give you an example, right? If I make a game, if I decide, hey, I'm gonna grab a bunch of my friends, it's gonna be a team of 20 people, and we're gonna make a game, and we're gonna invest $1 million on that game, $1 million on everything, marketing, salaries, licenses, everything. If we do that, and then we make $4 million in the return of investment, we would be super happy, right? Like, imagine we share everything. Like, we do a very sort of like communistic approach to that studio, and everything that we make, we divide evenly about the 20 artists. So the fact that we invested $1 million plus the time it took to make, and then we make $4 million in return, that's awesome. Like, I would consider that a huge success because you made 4 times what you went for, right? But if you are thinking about the big studio, let's imagine again like Bungie or Bethesda or these guys, and they spent $250 million on a game, plus the marketing and everything, and they only make back $500 million. That's, even though it's a double the amount of the investment, right? Like they make the investment back and then they get double that. That might be like a failure for them because they wanted to make 4 times or 5 times as much, and in terms of money, there might have been other investments that they could have pursued and get a better return on investment. So that's why I think studios and projects will in general shrink to smaller things, except for the big franchises. Like the big franchises that they know that if they follow the proper formulas, they're going to be able to do it. Like Mario, like someone saying here, Monster Hunter, right? Like those kind of games are still going to be out there, but we're going to see more success on smaller scale games, I think. That's at least my perspective. I don't know about that. There are plenty of huge projects from China and Japan that have huge success. The problem is that they're spending money on games that know. Exactly. That's what I mean, David. Like, if they know that the formula is gonna work and they stay true to that formula and they follow that sort of like road, then yeah, they're gonna make their money back. But it's no longer worth it to do big or humongous projects like that with an IP or with a project or an idea that's not well tested, right? Like if you try to do something very new and it's not well tested and you're not gonna support it properly, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. When will you work on the female tour? As soon as I get more free time, my friend. As soon as I get more free time. That I do want to finish that project, but as with everyone else here in the chat, we have so many projects, incompleted projects, right? That one right now is one of those for me. But I do want to finish it. Let's see. What's an IP you'd love to see a game made from? Oh, if it's done right, man, I would love to see the Stormlight Archive or Mistborn. You guys know I'm a huge Sanderson fan, so if we could get a game with those characters and those worlds, oh, that would be so cool. But again, it's tricky. It's tricky working with those very big IPs is very, very tricky. Like, I really wanted Riot to do like a Smash Brothers game, like a fighting game with all of their characters because they have so many cool characters. And then they decided to do the other type of fighting game. I hope it does well. It's not the type of fighting games that I love. I like them. But, yeah. The market's opening, especially in the character artist side of things. The jobs to do record people have skill set, which is where small. Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm gonna be a little bit controversial here, but a lot of people complain. It's like, oh, there's no jobs out there. I've been looking for something and I can't get into the industry. And then you took a look at the portfolios. It's like, dude, like why are you trying to get into the industry if you don't have the necessary skills, right? Like you need to have a bare minimum. It's like people complaining, oh, the NBA is not letting me play with the big guys and the big leagues. Like, do you have the level to be playing there? Because if you don't, then who are you complaining to? You first need to make sure you sort that out. You are actually good. And then if you are, now you can complain about that kind of stuff. Because, yeah, there's a lot of people that think, oh, I took a course. I bought one course, and just with those 30 hours of content, now I want to work at Pixar. It's like, no, dude, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So You thought that was going to be a possibility. This is not how it works. This is not just a skill or a work or a job that you can do in 1 second or in a couple of months, and that's it. And if there's anyone out there selling you like an opportunity, like, oh yeah, come here and study with us for 3 months and we're going to get you a job at Riot, that's not going to happen, man. Like that is a scam. That's definitely a scam. So you need to do your research and look for tools, look for skill sets rather than like fake promises. Like make sure you learn the skill sets that you need, and then you're gonna be able to adapt and get more opportunities out there. Wouldn't Mistborn be just a Dishonored remake? No, that's the thing. Like they could explore so many different things. Like they don't really need to follow the books. They could do like in the beginning, or I would do like an adventure game. I think like just exploring and jumping around would be pretty cool. Or like this sort of like duelist kind of game where the enemies have the same abilities as you do, like a Mistborn. And yeah, like I don't know, it could be something fun. Like there's options out there. There is a term for that where you do just enough to think you're at the level you are not and start thinking you should be. Yeah, the term is... Oh, man. Anyone knows the term? Wasn't it Jerry something or something like that? No. Or wasn't it like Monty Python something? That's not Monty Python, but it reminds me of something like that. But yeah, that's a term where you think you're better than you actually are, and then you think you deserve something that you actually... Well, Dunning-Kruger. There you go, my friend. There you go. Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect. And unfortunately, because this thing is so fun, like 3D is so fun, a lot of people try 3D, and they think it's just as easy as that, and it's not. It takes time. Like, I've seen portfolios. You guys have seen on some of our portfolio reviews, right? Which, by the way, I think next week we got portfolio review, don't we? Yeah, stay tuned. If you guys want to participate on portfolio review, that's going to be next week, because that's the last Friday of the month. And I've seen in portfolio reviews people who do the donut, the Blender donut, right? Everyone has done the Blender donut, and they think, oh, I did the Blender donut. Now I want to get hired at the studio. No, that's not going to happen, man, because everyone can do the Blender donut. So you need to bring something like actually valuable to the table. What about the hidden generate button? People spend hours playing video games for leisure, just like watching TV or going to the movies. That returns literally just doing it. You don't expect anything from that. Whereas in my point, you expect interviews, job offers. It's not the same. No, it's not the same. I understand, but and this is I'm gonna be very mean with this. Yeah, so I'm gonna not me, but I'm gonna be very honest with this, my friend, and it has to do with industry things. There we go. No, where is it? Full camera. There we go. So this is not something that I discovered. This is a study that's been done in the world. There are careers that everyone wants to do, and the amount of slots available for that career are small. Usually those are the creative careers. And then there's a lot of careers that no one wants to do, and usually there's a lot of spots available for that one. Sometimes the payments are going to be different. Sometimes they're going to be really high on one or really high on the other. But the point is, in creative industries, in what we do, video games, movies, commercials, film, all those things, everyone wants to do that. Like if you go out to the street and you ask anyone, hey, would you like to work in the movies, right? Like everyone's going to say, yes, that looks or sounds very cool. Yes, I want to do it. So since there's such a huge amount of people who want to do that career, and the actual demand or the need for those people is very small, that makes it so competitive. That's what makes it very, very competitive. So you need to really, really, really stand out to be able to make it, to be able to get an opportunity. And that's why, as you mentioned correctly, my friend, you do need a very high mental resilience, understanding that the competition is very tough. But keep in mind that this not only happens in our industry, it happens in any of the other big industries out there. Like, who doesn't want to be a doctor, right? Like, doctors usually have a lot of prestige, and we are told that they get a lot of money and things like that. Who doesn't want to be a chef, for instance, right? So there's so many other careers out there that are also very high in demand, but might not need as many people in there. So You need to be really good. What I can tell you is that you don't need to be on the top 1% to be able to make it. There's a lot of work out there, and that's one of the things that I always promote. There's so many other things where you can use 3D that don't necessarily are the top 1% like studios that we hear about, like Blizzard or like Riot or like Bethesda, right? Like there's so many studios out there, smaller studios that are working on smaller projects, might not be even be game projects, that might be educational projects, that might be kids shows, that might be, again, like independent movies or things like that, where you will be paid fairly, where you will be using all of these 3D skills. You're gonna have fun, you're gonna meet a lot of amazing people, and it is possible to be part of this industry in that way. But if you want to be an artist and then you want to be on the top like companies of the art world, right, like the big names that we always hear, then yeah, be prepared for the marathon that you're gonna have to run, because it's a very, very competitive thing, because you are not the only one. There's thousands of people out there who want to get the exact same thing. And again, it happens in every other discipline, right? Football players, basketball players, anything. Like if you want to be in the top 1%, you are gonna have to do the things that require you to be at that point. So yeah, that's again, it's I know it's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow, but you gotta put yourself in the situation and ask yourself, do I want to do that? Like, is that the life I want to do? Is that the race I want to participate in? Because if it is, go for it. And hopefully all of the things that I share here on the channel might help you get there eventually. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine. There are other alternatives. There are other choices that you can make, and it's completely valid to do that as well, okay? 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes. Wow, 165 entries. Now we had a lot of entries. That's amazing. You either stand out through a specific style or by being insanely good, right? Yes, or by working hard. I mean, I don't like to say working hard because there's, again, so many variables out there. But you just need to understand that anything you decide to do in life, if you want to be one of the big ones, let's say, or if you want to be working on big stuff, on important stuff, you're going to be competing against others. Like, it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? So it's not going to be easy. And even if you do the full work and if you do all of the things that you're supposed to be doing, there is a possibility, there is a chance that you won't make it. That's the sad stuff. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I have a political cousin, let's call it that way, right? Like, he's not a real cousin, like a blood cousin, but our parents are friends from forever, right? So, and he was a really, really good soccer player. Like, really good. He was a goalie. And he was really good. All through middle school, high school, he got scholarships. He went to the US and he played for a college football team and everything. He was really good. Like, one of the best goalies I've ever met. And he didn't make it. He came to a point where, like, the opportunities for him to really jump to the big leagues, right? Like to professional soccer playing were not there. And he was told, hey, you can keep trying or you just can give up. That's it. Those are the two options. And even if you keep trying, the chances of you really making it are not there because of a bunch of different factors. It's not you. It's like in those like relationships, right? It's like, this is not your fault. You are doing everything you should be doing. But even after doing everything you should be doing, like, this is it. This is the end of the road for you, right? No, it's not Messi, of course, not Messi. So he had to make a choice, and he chose to stop there, right? Like, he's like, okay, well, I gave my best. I tried. I couldn't make it. That's fine. It sucks to hear, yes, but that doesn't mean that all of the effort and all of the hard work that he did is like wasted. Of course not, because he learned a lot, he improved a lot, he made a lot of connections, and now he's having a really good time. He's quite successful. So even though he did not end up being at the top teams, you know, playing in the Premier League or in freaking Europe, that doesn't mean that all of the things that he did were wasted. That's the same thing I want you guys to really like get in your mind, and that's why I mentioned the initial thing at the beginning of the stream about making your younger self and your older self proud. Like, that's what you should be focusing on. Focus on being proud, focus on enjoying the journey, and even if that goal that you think you want doesn't come to fruition, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. Far from it. You tried, you did your best, you learned, you enjoyed the journey, hopefully, And hopefully you will find other types of rewards that you were not thinking of. But then now, looking in hindsight, you're like, I wouldn't change anything, and I would I want to have these rewards. I've mentioned this before. I had the opportunity back when I was in the US to pursue that career and start getting into bigger studios and pursue what I thought I wanted back in the day, which was becoming a cinematic artist. And it didn't happen. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. But now I'm here, and I'm super happy. I'm married. I have a kid. I enjoy having these live streams with you guys on Fridays. I enjoy teaching about the 3D world. So if you ask me, would you change this? Would you change your current situation or your current reality? No, of course not. Because I love what I'm doing right now. And that's the point. Like, the point of this life, I would say, and art in general, is to enjoy the process. Enjoy learning. Enjoy what you do. Inspire others. Help others. Make a living, of course, ideally. And then look for the next thing. That's it. That's what we want, right? How do I submit the portfolio for review? Don't worry. It's very easy. So what's going to happen is the following. On the Discord channel, next week, randomly, I don't announce it, just randomly, there's going to be one right here. There we go. We got the new winner. And the new winner is... Who is it? Is it the same one? It's not the same one. No. This is... Oh, can someone help me with the name? Because I can't see it because of streamer mode. Who won? Who won the last license right now? The last license goes to my good friend V. It starts with a V. But I'm not sure who that is. Alan, are you there? Bafios. There you go. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bafios. Bafios, congratulations, my friend. You are the proud winner of the final license that we're giving away today. I will be contacting all the winners for today's live stream, and I'll explain to you how we're going to be doing this process. So, yeah, there you go. You're here, Bafios, on the YouTube chat. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. So, let me explain how the portfolio review works, and then we'll jump to some final questions, okay? So, as I was mentioning, next week, randomly throughout the week, we're going to open a post right here on the portfolio review section of the showcase. Once we open it, please read the rules. So we have some rules, and we're only going to accept 30 portfolios, okay? We normally accept 30 or 31, and just follow the rules. You need to write a little bit of a message of who you are and what you want to learn and what you want to do in the future, and include your portfolio. That's it. But you need to be, of course, on the Discord channel. So make sure to join the Discord channel. There we go. So this is there's a question by Starky Cat. One thing I like to think about that helps me personally is that I want to become the senior artist that helps people in the position of an aspiring, passionate artist that is just starting out. So that's a realistic goal. Yeah, that's a very realistic goal, man. That's a very, very realistic goal. In old age, you won't regret what you failed. You'll regret what you didn't try. Exactly, David. Exactly. Do you think Photoshop is replaceable with Clip Studio for 3D work? Yeah, it's replaceable. I use Krita as well for some stuff, but I've used, again, Photoshop for so long that it's difficult for me to just replace it. There we go. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Wow, we've been working on this one for quite a bit now. Again, small little details here and there, cleanup process, but I'm really liking how this one's turning out. So eventually, I'll bring her back to this scene right here with the pose and everything. And just clean up. I need to clean up the rig as well, because on the rigging process, I got a little bit of distortion. So for instance, here on the breast area, you can see there's a couple of pixels that are not working properly. I want to fix a little bit of the arm right there as well. This can all be done inside of, it can also be done inside of 3D Code, by the way, once you have the final pose. But yeah, this is it, my friends. You guys had fun? It was a fun stream, right? Fun stream doing a lot of hand painting stuff. Profe, I've got my first chambita. Any advice? Make sure you don't screw it up, man. If it's the first time you're doing it, make sure you do the best you can. Even if you need to spend a little bit of extra hours every day just to make sure that things are super, super polished. Ask as many questions as you need so that you are delivering what they're asking for. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for being part of this amazing stream. Thank you again to... No, you didn't screw yourself, Kepkas. Actually, I think it's better to learn the traditional subdip stuff first, and then you learn the optimization for games. So thank you, Starky Cat. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here on the stream. Thank you, of course, to our sponsor for today, 3D Code, who were super, super kind to give away all of these licenses for everyone. Make sure you guys go back, practice, look the stream up if you want to learn a little bit more about this stuff. Check the full course, the hand painted character course, where we go over all of the steps that you need to do your own characters in this amazing style. And yeah, don't forget, join our Discord, go to YouTube, make sure to subscribe. It really helps us to allow us to keep making more of these giveaways. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend, and don't forget, always learning, always improving, my friends. I'll see you back on the next one. Bye bye.